Good.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
The tape never lies. Tape never lies.
Starts now.
The tape never lies.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Here we go.
I trading up 100.
Yes!
What? Oh my God.
Here it is!
The tape never lies.
Other people drop off, but we still keep rocking.
You'll never know how good your football team's going to be until you play with maximum effort.
Keeping it 100.
There's open competition over the North and never give it back.
Smartest man.
My Chicago Bears select Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man and Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keeping it 100, never running east to west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the freaking anchor, forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shane's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shane got some haters. But now they're all stuck like the Jew and now and later. Debaters, frauds get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sacks trolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Jimmy. What's the name? We do when we're breaking down the Bears. Fuck a play or a captain, all of the unfair. The tape never lies. The truth, you see, we laugh, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a sad nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like Trick Sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Justin Fields gets outside the pocket, puts that ball perfectly where only Mooney can get it.
1 point,
2 feet.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Birds never lie. Yeah, exactly.
Yo, what is good, TTNL fam? We got another fun show for y'all tonight. And yes, Claudio is not here. I snatched his job tonight like Eberflus snatched our hopes of being competitive this season. But no, we got a fun show. We got Kenneth Davis from NBC Sports joining us tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in the people you really came, well, the person you really came to see. I'm going to bring in Shane, the smartest man.
Yo, the only guy that showed up for work tonight, Cherie.
Right.
I tell you. I guess Phil sprained his thumb or something. Who knows? He's
Hey, he
on
could
the
be
show.
out for weeks.
Yeah, we'll see. But
It's Beijing.
well, hey, no, I'm rooting for the kid. I want Justin back. I want Justin to play well, but it's not going to be able to go, obviously. I know they're playing their political games and gamesmanship, which at this point, I don't think anybody's worried about the 1-5 Chicago Bears, so I always have to laugh at that. You know, Eberflus, I had to laugh today. Forget who asked him the question. They said, you know, how does your game plan change when Tyson Bagent is QB1? He's like, oh well, you gotta play to the strengths of your quarterback. I'm like, really? Really? Is that what you're saying, Mr. Flus? Yeah, you better look in the mirror, homie.
There.
Yeah, exactly. So it's more of the same, unfortunately. You know, I did talk to Phil a little bit earlier on the phone, and I said, you know, we got 11 of these left, and it sucks that we're in, you know, draft mode and everything like that already. But it is what it is. You know, as a Bears fan, this is what we're used to, as the Coke Zero is being pounded in the green room right now. But yeah, we should be used to it. But you know, throw your support behind this kid, behind Tyson Bagent, and don't make this two different quarterback camps. And you've seen it already. You wanted the people that are 100% on Justin Fields, and I get it. Love the talent, but if you say anything negative, they get upset. But they're also the same people that are going to nitpick every little thing to Tyson Bagent's game. Oh, you thought this kid? Did you just? So you're in a no-win situation. So
he threw an interception as if, I mean, I hate to say it, and we probably gonna get crucified for it, but it's not like Justin Fields hasn't thrown any fourth quarter interceptions this season, right?
Yes.
So yeah. I mean,
yeah. But yeah, you're exactly right. But look at the CEO holding court there in the green room, Sheree.
I see.
Sitting back,
He's gonna let us do our thing, huh?
Sitting back, taking phone calls. He's probably putting in his food order with Steph upstairs right now.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, in the middle of the show, she's gonna bring down the
turkey on whole wheat, some of that spicy mayo, Steph.
Add some avocado.
Some little thin slice of avocado. Yeah. We'll see. But I was going to add them, but I guess that wouldn't be very good. But here we are, Sheree. Where is your confidence level as we prepare for the Vegas Raiders? I mean, are you above 10%?
No.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
No, I just, it's so hard. Like, even for the Washington game, the one game we won, there's very little outlook. They gave us a little hope. Well, maybe, like you say, maybe you said it, I think on Bears Hour Live, maybe they're figuring it out and pulling it together, and we go and shit the bed against Minnesota. So, no, I have no faith that they can pull together a win.
Yeah, I just, as much, you know, where they got us all hyped up with the Washington game, and I know we're going to talk about this a little bit more in detail, you know, statistics and analytics wise tomorrow night on Cars Keys at 8:30 p.m. East here on TTNL. But
shameless plug.
Yeah, there you go. But for them to go away with what was working, you know, versus Washington, and what this group is built for them to go away from it, and what really gets you is they went back to what they should have been doing once Fields was out.
Right.
So Louis Riddick is like, if I was Kevin Warren, I would be down in the office and being like, what gives? What are we doing here? You know what I mean?
I hate to say that it feels like that Washington game. Everybody was so sure that when we lost that Washington game, Eberflus was going to get fired that Friday. And I feel like that win has just secured his job for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. But I mean, my confidence level in Matt Eberflus as head coach of the Chicago Bears has never been lower. They were, I don't want to say more organized because Mark Trestman lost the locker room, but they worked. The offense certainly looked better. And I'll give him a pass on the defense because he had aging journeyman veterans that made up that defense. But, you know, you start to see this defense make some strides, and then they go oppo to what they should be doing on offense. But, again, to repeat myself, this is what life as a Chicago Bears fan is. And it always has been, unfortunately. That's why everybody's still stuck in 1985. Duh Bears, we got to bring back duh coach and bring back Singletary and all that bullshit. We'll see.
But who's to say? I mean, now, granted, we love them when they were in their prime doing their thing, but who's to say this league has completely changed? Their coaching stuff. You see how Fangio even kind of phased out. Like, he's a great defensive coordinator, but as a head coach, that mindset isn't, that old school play isn't working anymore.
No, and like I said, you can't go backwards. And that's what they're doing offensively. Our guy in the green room has been on top of it from jump once again.
Yeah,
with the coaching staff and with the OC, and
he spotted it early on, and it was the same thing with Nagy. He spotted it before any of us. Like, I was a believer. That 100 celebration, I was drinking that Kool-Aid hard.
That's they knew that. The fans would eat that up, because with the Bears, there's no next step. It's we made the playoffs and we missed the field goal, and so all right, we're winning the Super Bowl next year. And it's not the way that the NFL works. It's not the way the NFL has ever worked. And they got punched in the fucking face.
Nope. This is football, baby.
Mariah
Football,
Carey
baby.
entered the room, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen, I had to take care of a few things. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know if you could hear us. We were putting in your food order while you were on the
Steph
phone.
made
Turkey on whole wheat with a thin slice of avocado and spicy mayonnaise.
It's actually Puerto Rican rice and beans with chicken. It's very good.
I'm glad you didn't say, Frank and beans.
No, that would be my dad.
You got to put the bean above the Frank.
My mom and dad. That was like the worst night. What are we having for dinner? Franks and beans.
I tell you what, Philip, that Frank could be my middle linebacker.
The worst night, though. Did you have like the worst thing that your parents cooked night? Mine was pickled ham.
I don't
put a pickle and ham in this grinder with mayonnaise and I'm like, this was the worst night for me as a kid.
My mother used to make this thing. I don't even know if you guys would know what the fuck it is, but and she still makes it to this day. And it's called ham tetrazine. You ever heard of that?
Heard of it.
I feel like I've heard like a chicken tetrazzini or something like that.
Yeah, I fucking hated it. And like
what is it?
It's like ham, and there's like spaghetti noodles and cheese. But it's baked. Just wasn't my
ham with spaghetti noodle, like curls. I think I might know.
Curls.
Cream sauce.
I don't know. I never touched it, but my sisters were older than I was, and they loved it. And my dad loved it. So I was just a young, snot-nosed kid sitting at the end of the table being like, what the fuck? This dinner sucks tonight. But, back then you just get cracked upside the head if you said something like that. Shut up and eat food.
It's called ham salad, mine.
Yeah.
That was when the street light comes on, you have to be in.
Yeah.
That was dinner time. And whenever
and don't make your parents have to come outside and yell your name.
Oh my God. My mom could scream because she was like the cheerleading coach.
My mom was not the screamer.
No.
It was. You wait till your father gets home. That's what I got.
I heard that.
My father was the disciplinarian over
Will
my mother.
Eastman liked liver and onions. That was another one I just never did. Liver and onion.
Yeah,
liver
he's moving on up like George Jefferson by his profile pic.
Roast beef. TTNL helped me through a tough time in life. We've got a lot of those letters. I want to do like a Casey Kasem one day and read some of them. But then people would think I'm joking about them. But that was like I'm going down memory lane with this because
I
that was
can
like
remember
my
the
childhood.
first like big one that we got. I couldn't believe, and we were actually on the phone with the guy for 2.5 hours that night. If you, you know,
Dan Aguirre.
yeah,
Yes.
I figured that's what you were talking about.
yep. But Dan was in a.
Dan Aguirre, Dan the man. How's
Yeah.
he doing?
I don't know. He's probably not happy like we are because
Like Khalil Mack had 6 sacks.
he lives and dies with the Bears. You know what I mean? It's like we do. So.
I heard a little bit of what you were saying, and I want to piggyback off of it as we get ready for a good night of Bears talk or
Jesus
Bears.
Christ. Can we hold a moment of silence for David? He had, that I would sign up for that. Probably being the worst fucking dinner ever.
Salmon loaf.
Yeah, I would divorce my mom and burn the fucking house down.
Is that Charles Leno on a freaking toss plate?
I like
Salmon
salmon,
loaf.
but when you add the word loaf next to it, it just don't. It ain't working.
It's a Leno household special, right?
Get you, David, coming in from a hard day playing outside. Mommy, what's for dinner? Oh, Davey, it's salmon loaf and cream peas.
Patron Steve, just checking in. What's up, patron?
What's up, Steve?
Patron Steve, Greg Gigger. What is Greg Gigger? Oh man, everybody's checking in. Check in with your worst.
My grandfather used to call that shit on a shingle.
Shit on a shingle.
Yep.
Chipped beef on toast.
Yep, that's what he used to call it.
Oh
Shit
my
on a
God.
shingle.
Deer meat. Yeah, I couldn't do it. My uncle
Medicine.
was a hunter, and I was like, I can't
I eat
do it.
medicine. Oh, really? It's got to be cooked the right way.
Listen, we start off the show, Rome, with some memory lane. I got Casey Kasem, the street lights, and your worst favorite fucking meal as a
You're
child.
1 in 5. What do you want, dude? You want to?
Yeah.
Do we want
Let's
to break
talk
down
about-
Trent and Gill?
Let's talk about 2 Bear linemen blocking each other. How about that?
Oh my God, should I load that up?
Why not? I can't wait to release mine tomorrow. No, I know you love. You wouldn't be here on a Wednesday night with the shitty coached Chicago Bears if you didn't love this channel. Although some people listen to every show, pretend they never listen, and then comment as they listen.
Oh, I don't listen to those guys, but I have thousands of hours of video of where they're talking about me. Yeah. Weird how that works.
Patron Genie here, just checking in.
I bet you senior citizen Shy Bear patrons had some pretty awful fucking dinners growing up in the day. With him being the senior
Greenberg, I'm sure he had a
David,
couple.
put your worst dinner as a child
Worst
growing
dinner.
up.
Worst dinner as a kid.
I'm gonna say like mutton or something.
You were outside fucking
Oh,
all
wow.
day playing hide and seek, tackle football, whatever you were doing. And you came home, the street light, mom is yelling, dad, whoever, grandma. Not everyone had a dad or mom. Foster care, whatever. You came in and then right there on the plate, that's what you had.
I'm seriously trying to think about that because it wasn't that the meal itself wasn't good, and I hate to put this out there. I love you, Granny, but it wasn't the best cook. So that's why I didn't like the food because it didn't taste good. If someone else cooked the meal, I would eat it.
Granny just Cherie was like, I'm at Granny's house. Fuck. Whatever she's making stuff.
Yeah, we're just gonna shut the fuck up and eat it.
I had to. I was the one.
Granny, who the fuck puts apples in their mac and cheese? But I love it. I love it.
Granny made mashed potatoes. Cherie was like, how do you fuck a mashed potato? Like, how do you do that? Lima beans. I remember my dad.
Okay,
caught
lima
me-
beans, I hate it no matter who
I
cooks.
hate it.
Lima beans are disgusting.
My dad
You know what I
caught
hate?
me trying to hide them in my milk.
Oh.
I didn't know those fucks would stay down at the bottom. It
You
looked like Thai
The
tea,
green would go through.
Thai bubble tea, or whatever. The fuck
Oh,
it
that was a staple growing up. right there. Tuna casserole.
Tuna casserole.
Yeah.
Like, what was the casserole part?
It's
I
baked,
didn't
ain't it?
Yeah, I think it's like
Oh,
like
it's
what I was
warm.
talking about. Yeah.
Oh man, I hated that.
I like tuna salad, but yeah, I don't
I
like
could do
casserole.
tuna cold.
Yeah.
Jesus. Wonder what Kenneth Davis hated as a kid.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, yeah, he's a city kid. I bet you he didn't talk too much shit back to mama growing up either when it was time to eat dinner.
Now these kids today, my wife is like a Greek diner. She's making everybody fucking dinner.
Yeah,
My
fuck.
cousin does the same thing.
I
I
don't
did that.
like shit.
Four
I'm like,
different meals.
why are you put the fucking
See,
food?
when my mom wasn't home, my dad made breakfast for everybody every
Mhm.
fucking night. That's what we had for dinner.
So that was a good night.
Yeah, no, I didn't complain.
I remember my dad was like, fuck it, just have Captain Crunchberry tonight.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah, carp or fucking bottom feeder fish, dude. That,
Carp.
yeah,
I
fuck
couldn't
that.
eat fish, man. I couldn't eat it as a kid.
I used to
Fuck
hate
fish.
tossed salad when I was a kid. Now I like it.
Oh, sorry, that wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I didn't say getting
Ryan got
It
everything he liked.
Cherie.
Ryan got everything. Keep rolling. It's amazing. It says kindy Nicholas. It's amazing that the coaches had no problem changing Justin's footwork. However, they had an entire offseason.
Did you
They saw nothing wrong with the way Cody holds
hear
the ball
Flus
for the snap.
stammer about that today? He's like, "Oh yeah, we've seen it pop up. It's crept up in practice a little bit, but we take
Yeah.
care of it there when we see it." I'm like, "Well, it certainly
like-
ain't working in the fucking games." And by the way, every one of your centers is doing it. I talked to Greg Braggs for a couple minutes on the phone the other day, and he's like, "The thing about it is, he's like, if you went to training camp, like Greg was there every day. He's like, every single center, Kramer included, Patrick, Cody Whitehair, all of them were doing the same thing, sailing their friggin' snaps."
I'm not smart.
So that goes back to coaching.
Absolutely. Guess what? If it ain't working, you better fucking fix it. I'm telling you, tonight, Shane, we're playing a team this week. They live out of the gun.
Oh yeah.
They have bad snaps. They're 8 and 9. I'm teaching a kid 8 or 9. He's 9 years old, how to do it for the scout team to give the defense a look. It took me 2 minutes to teach him to change the Cody Whitehair method on the top of the ball to grabbing the ball like you're gonna throw it.
You can't snap like this.
No, because guess what? The law of physics is going to tell you if you grab the top of the ball and you throw it this way, it's like a punt upside down. So
Yeah,
it
it's like,
can
you know,
go
when you
anywhere.
Drop the French fry down in between your seat. Don't you remember that? Was it Martin Lawrence or one of them, or maybe it was Will Smith in one of the movies. Like, you stick your hand down, you come up and you got like this shit. You know, you got like this shit with your hands, and I'm like, that's the way Cody Whitehair holds the fucking ball when he's snapping it. It's the craziest shit.
His dad never threw the ball with him. I'm like, grab the ball like you're going to throw it, then just put it down, hold it, the nose of the ball down, and then you just scrape it across the turf. Let it go. It's going to hit there every time.
Yeah, I think
Come
this
in
got
with it.
answered a little bit today, actually, about Feeney, is he's actually got a knee injury.
Really?
So it sounds like maybe that happened and they haven't talked about it at all. Yeah. He's on the injury report today.
Actually, I didn't even give our guest a invite. I'm so bad right now. Jesus. It's probably going to be like, well, I got 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh. Does anybody know that song? If they do,
Dougie Fresh.
give them props.
Sorry, we can't say it.
What's
I
that?
went to, on a side note, I went to LL Cool J this past weekend. It was Queen Latifah,
What?
Bone Thugs and Harmony. It was
Oh
awesome.
my God.
Nice.
Bum, 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 bum.
Queen
Was it
Latifah
good?
came out. Moni.
Latifah?
Love,
Moni in the middle?
yep. And Trench
Come
from
on.
Naughty by Nature. DJ Jazzy Jeff was there. It was, they've been trying to celebrate the 50 years of hip hop. So they've been doing like all the shows that I've been to this year have given some type of tribute to it.
50 years of hip hop.
You know this guy, Phil?
No. Tate? It's Tate. Oh, that is Tate.
That's really him?
Yeah, I think that is him.
Tate.
That's their YouTube channel or something. Actually, I shouldn't even put it out there that this kid. Why isn't it? Oh my God. Can you? I got to text it to you.
I keep seeing him saying hi, Dad. So I wasn't sure if that was him.
It is. Hi, Tate. Hopefully you're listening to your mom and getting to bed. Now I can send this to Kenneth Davis. I don't know why. We're just rocking and rolling. It was funny tonight. They were doing sprints, and I said, in the baseball field is like about 40 yards away, and they're playing songs over there. And Journey comes on while they're doing sprints, and they finish. And what's this song? Boom, 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 boom.
Let's not get copyrighted.
Won't stop believing.
Oh, just say the Sopranos song.
Anyway, I go, you got 3 more sprints. If someone could sing the lyrics of this song, and they're all Journey, and one kid did it. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, really?
So I knocked off 1 sprint, Shane. I was knocking it off. There you go.
Nice.
A little fun at the end of the crazy night. That's why I was on the phone. But I won't talk about that till later in the show. Anyway, Dougie Fresh. Yes, the show. Muck. 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh, you're on. LL Cool J, how was he?
Oh,
he had a moment when he lifted up his shirt. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, so she was just speechless.
It was good.
We thought you were.
I thought you were like, he wasn't good.
No,
he was
no.
We thought you were saying, he's lost it. Yeah, he's LL mid. He's LL mid J now. He ain't that good. A friend of
mine from work went to like Bobby Brown's concert, and she was like, "Oh my God, he was drunk."
Yeah, I've heard that performances aren't. Yeah,
that one didn't hit right. There was this teacher and she was challenging her classroom to sing songs. Did you see that?
I didn't.
It's kind of going viral now. It's pretty cool. LL Cool J, definitely in my top 20. Just letting you know, Cherie.
I figured he would.
Way over Tupac. Like, way. He's probably one of the most underrated and underappreciated artists. If you look at his library, for real. Because we get caught up in the LL, the actor.
He's the actor.
Was he in the Meg? Was he in Meg 1 or something?
No.
The shark? What was that?
That was the Samuel Jackson movie. I know which one you're talking about.
What was
something?
What was he in with the shark?
It was. I know Samuel Jackson was in it, so it's like Blue
Horizon.
Oh
my God.
Horizon.
Is it Blue Horizon?
That's he is a Tupac hater, Jeremiah.
LL Cool J would destroy Tupac.
Deep Blue.
Any day.
That's what it was.
Deep Blue Sea. Look at you guys. We should do trivia night one night, Shay. This shit would be fun.
Welcome to Bears football.
Bears
trivia. Hip hop trivia night.
Food. We start off with food and hip hop.
Hip hop.
That's where we're at. And it only took 6 games.
Where's Jackal? He can't even do chapters anymore. This fucking
Jackal's eating salmon loaf and cream peas right now.
Jackal can't even do a chapter for this. Let's think back what we did. Tyson Bagent, you guys were talking about. Get behind him. let's stop with the separation parties and just cheer for the Bears. That's what we started, right? Then I came in. We're talking street lights, Casey Kasem, worst dinner.
Brown?
I think he did. Bobby Brown, LL Cool J. Oh my God. We got a bum as a coach. What do you want?
Is that what Tate just said?
Yeah.
Oh,
He said,
nobody picked up on my joke. We got a bum as a coach. Is that what Tate just said? Yeah.
yeah.
You still didn't pick it up.
Oh,
there
no,
goes
I
Sheree.
got you. Sheree just left.
Sheree's like, I got
I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
I got it.
Here we are, live, keeping it 100 on a Wednesday night, talking all things other than the Bears tonight so far. Now let's go back. Tyson Bagent, Shane.
Well,
I think
it's
you're
important.
Right. I thought he was outstanding at the presser.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think any of that part of it is too big for him at all. And Justin is the same way. These guys can command a room, and the media pressure, none of that seems too big for them. But there's a definite split of people that are all in on Justin Fields that are nitpicking, that are going to nitpick every little thing Tyson Bagent does to death. And then you get away from rooting for your team, for the Bears. And that's to me, that's the shit that gets nauseating. You know what I mean?
It's just disappointing because the level of anxiety the Bears give us.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like people want to be a hater. And it's like, analyze it for what it is. Not give up on the guy after one drive, Ivan. Come on. We got to give it a little bit of time to see what this guy could do and how he's going to handle himself. That's where this Chicago Bears community needs to start being. And you get answers. Answers need to be had. And it's not like the coach has changed. It's like the coach and the culture. But if you start separating before it happens, or you just
I don't agree with this from Gregory. You're 1-5. You're dumb to go out and get another quarterback.
You want to get answers.
Yeah, you want to see what this kid can do. At 1-5, it's the perfect time. And people just need to get over that. That's, if you want Tyson Bagent to do well, that's not a shot at Justin Fields. And this is this, friggin' cycle that we're stuck in, that they got to get out of. There's There's a definite split.
It's like politics at this point. It's like, where is the common sense understand? I'm not saying there aren't. I just think the loudest and the biggest are the most ignorant. Yeah. And that's where we are as Bears fans. And
it's like rooting for the Bears and the Chicago White Sox, like our poor guy in the green room over there, seeing his shirt. That poor guy.
Brandy Brown, really quick. Ford, I appreciate all the work you guys do. It really is therapy dealing with the suffering we endure as being Bears fans. And I hear you, and I appreciate that kind comment. Tonight, we're bringing in another doctor. He's a doctor on NBC, and it's not Richard Gere. I'll tell you that. Although he might have the same pipes as him. I think this guy could do voiceovers for children's stories, as well as, entering a movie theater and you hear Kenneth's voice with the previews. Like,
he's going to voice the 30 for 30 on the worst head coach in Chicago Bears history after we launch Flus to the fucking sun.
On the next 30 for 30. I can hear Kenneth saying that. Eberflus, a coach who can't win. Ever. Let's get him out here. Bring him out. We are redoing all our intros. So I am going to do an intro for him on the fly Cherie. He is from NBC Sports Under Center podcast. You see him around. He's a friend of the show as well as in real life. Like, we go away, but we still maintain a friendship and a conversation. He is a great human being, number one. Number two, husband and father. I love this guy, and I love when he hits the high notes when he comes on the show. Let's bring him out. The man, the myth, Kenneth Davis. There he is.
I miss y'all, man. How y'all doing?
All right. How are you?
I wonder how y'all was doing, man. I was like, man, when they gonna reach out? Because this is the time.
I think we're oddly numb. I think we're oddly numb to it. Really, that's the thing. It's the same old, man.
Mm-hmm. But it's sad. It's sad that you hit it right there. You hit it right there, Shane. It's us. Yeah. This is what our family is about, right? Basically, and it's just how it goes. And as you were talking earlier, there's no need to wish hate on Tyson Bagent. No, I think, and you know what? We haven't had a conversation on Tyson Bagent. The three of us, right? Definitely was a guy that I was like, look, don't put him on the practice squad because I didn't want him to get cherry picked. If he's gonna get cherry picked, he seems like he could have something. Why not? Let's find out, because we never know what's going to happen here with quarterbacks.
Right.
All right. So I'm not going to root it. I'm going to be honest with y'all. And I was saying this, we were doing an interview. We were doing an interview today with Vinny Bond Sr. from Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. And I was saying this, to be honest, and usually I'd be like, man, let's just lose every game. And I'm not saying that they may not lose the large majority of the games moving forward, but I'm not even in that mood. I was having a debate with a coworker who was talking about lazy narratives and how Justin, and if they move off of Justin, that the narrative will be that he was the focus and that we're going to just party on and have another quarterback. And I said to that person, I said, listen, and you guys would know this. I said, if the Bears draft a quarterback this upcoming draft, we will not celebrate like we did the night that we drafted Justin, because it won't feel the same. No. Like it was cathartic when Justin was here. This would feel like, are we gonna about mess this kid up too, to a certain degree?
Exactly. It'll defer to cautious optimism.
Yes,
it's not going to be. It won't be pure elation like it was when they made the move up for Justin, and that's the thing.
It's a negligence in the coaching department. I've said that. I know. I hate to pound my chest here, but it's like I'm telling you this, and I'm saying it. It's the most important position for the Bears because they've not gotten it right. And thus, what comes out of that? A steaming pile of shit happens to, you can't make chicken salad out of it. That's just what it is. And this coach continues to say things and lie and get caught in lies and mumble backwards. And it's just, you don't think the locker room feels like
bold-faced lied after the game on Sunday. Yes. And then he came right out and did it again today twice. And I'm like, well, why are you lying? What is there to lie about at this point? I mean, you sunk below Mark Trestman. That's your achievement as a head coach. Let that part sink in.
That part right there. That part where, because I mean, even if you look at it with Trestman, and it's funny, I forgot which team did it recently. We're talking about why did they give, I got mad. I was on the radio at the time when they announced they gave Jay the extension and just instead of giving him the franchise tag, because it was like, look, keep him for another year, but find out if you can get along. But when they announced the extension on air,
7-year deal,
I was vehement, like, what the hell are you, what are you doing? I've been drastically disappointed. I did hear this yesterday, to be honest with you. GM and head coach don't necessarily see eye to eye when it comes to the pro personnel that gets dropped up in there, which is ringing when you think about what the hell are y'all doing up there. I'm going to be honest with you, and this is more of a systemic Bears thing. I'm tired of everybody being brand new to their position that they're getting hired for.
Yeah,
and we come in here because we love this organization. We love the fact that we have this community, and we all want to, because none of us, think about it, if any of us were alive, we were kids when they won the Super Bowl, right? I mean, young as hell. We've never, as grown grown-ups.
No.
Let alone grown-ups with kids that you want to experience something with, had the opportunity to be like, this is why we love this so much. You know what I'm saying? It's basically, it's been futile for the most part, but you can't come in with a rookie head coach, a rookie first-time play caller, a rookie first-time defensive play caller, a rookie general manager. Everyone can't be brand new on the job.
And it's all led by an inept owner.
Right.
Let's not forget that part.
No, somebody has to be the adult in the room. And when I mean adult, did this before. You know, like someone has to be, and not someone burnt out, like you pulled out John Fox, and John Fox should have had a year off. John Fox was going for that bread. And there's nothing wrong with get your money. I'm never gonna hate on you. If someone's offering you a bag, go ahead and take your bag. But everything that he had to deal with John Elway in Denver, he needed a second before he jumped back in it, but he didn't know if he was going to get another opportunity. So he took it back. And again, I'm not upset with him, but as an ownership, you need to know, like, hold up, y'all. This guy probably needs a break. And it's compounded. It's just, it keeps going.
I want to take it a step further,
Go ahead.
because I've been saying it, and you're right. I've been saying, we had Chris Zorich. He was talking about the same thing. He's tired of these first year or these roll of the dice on a coordinator. He lived it with Wani. He called Wani out for what he was as a head coach. And like, people are fired up, former players. And I think it also goes back to what Shane said with McCaskey. There's zero personality. They're afraid of the Mike Tomlin of the world that will tell them to get the fuck out of the way. This is how it's done. And this, a leader of men like Ditka is so intimidating to them. They let Bruce Arians walk out of the fucking building, and he's like, I have to fucking go in mock interview. I just won coach of the year and took my team that had no chance.
And he thought he had the job. He thought he had it. Yeah.
This is the problem. Men aren't being like personality plus. Look at the pattern. Dick Durant, Lovie Smith. Say what you want about Mark fucking Trestman, Matt Nagy. Now this dumpster fire. Do they exuberate the kind of confidence in personality that a head coach of the Chicago Bears needs? I had a fan, Ben Ricketts, I'll give him credit. He said George McCaskey, Ted Phillips wouldn't hire George Halas to be the head coach of the Bears. And if you sit back and think about it,
that's a good one.
That's a mic drop right there, right?
That's a good one.
And that's the I would say that's 30% of the problem. And the 70% is what you're talking about. Like a veteran, he's done this before. He comes in the bill. He knows what he wants. He's not, hey, Johnny, do you know any good offensive coordinator? Well, there's this wide receiver coach in Green Bay. He's a really good guy. He knows his X's and O's. Come on. This is the Bears. It's the fucking Bears. This isn't.
Well, that goes back to our T-shirt that we put out. The performance over politics, and politics have always reigned supreme here. And I said, whatever, you can think what you want about Ryan Poles and the whole issue, but I can't escape the fact that, kind of like to your point, first time GM, his agent, Trace Armstrong, head coach, first Trace Armstrong, and now this guy Phil Snow that they just brought in. I've been trying to look to see, but he's connected. Who is Carolina's head coach Matt Rule?
Matt Rule, Nebraska's coach now.
Yep, and he's been connected to Matt Rule, and Matt Rule's agent is Trace Armstrong. And it's
Trace
just
Armstrong. Listen, if you wanted, this is the crazy thing. Now, remember when the rumor was perhaps they was going to give the job to Trace
Armstrong?
Trace Armstrong, exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna give you this job, but what about this, Trace? It's like, I can make more money if I get my guys up in the building rather than spending all that time and energy having to run an organization that's inept, right? And you fell for the banana in the tailpipe again. And it's just, look, I'm be honest, Phil. I don't care if you are rah-rah. You can be the coach down there with the Dolphins. I know we wouldn't do it now. A lot of people now like poo-poo Bill Belichick coming to the Bears or whatever. You can be, if you're great at what you do, I don't care about, as long as you're not an evil person that we find out about, I don't really give a damn I just want great. Like, why can't we have greatness from the head coaching position? Because the thing is this, if you get greatness from the head coach's position, that's 10 to 15 years of chances to be in the playoffs, which is 10 to 15 years of chance to contend. Yeah. And you may only hit twice, but 2 Super Bowls are a hell of a lot more than I've had in my adult life. And I've been an adult for a minute. All right. Like it's like, dude, it's like, why do we do it? It's just going into this year. None of us, we all knew that they may revert to the mean, but we thought the mean may be about 6 to 7 victories, right? Like that's where you should be after you added the shit that you added, right?
Right.
You're worse than you were last year with better players, which is another problem because those guys last year were guys that was trying to stay in the league. These guys right now got bread in their pockets and they're tuning you out. The halftime adjustments, where have they been at? That was one of the things where, listen, take away the halftime adjustments from last year and the fact that they really didn't quit to the last week of the season. I would have been like Eberflus can go. Like, so like, again, it's maddening that we're sitting here. It's maddening that we never get it right. We never get it right. It's never, again, like, because I'm
hire an outside firm to help you. And here's Ernie Accorsi, an aging Bill.
That's the thing right there. What happens
if old boy network? What do you?
What happens
doing?
if Kevin Warren comes down and swings the big stick, and everybody's gone, and then 2 days later we hear that they've hired a search firm?
Then I'm
that's messed. Then why do we bring in Kevin Warren? And the point was the connections.
Exactly.
The point was to finally have someone who knows who's the coordinator that's really coming up that people are looking for. Who's the guy that's prepared to take? Who are the scouts? You know what I'm saying? Like, look, you just, man, Shane, I swear, you just hit me with something I hadn't even thought about. If that was to happen, that would just. It would be so on point.
That's my point, and this is what I've been bringing up, and it's hard to even talk about. Listen, I know Zorich has talked to Phil and I, and I don't think you'll mind me saying this, that said that Kevin is a no nonsense.
He seems like it.
Cutthroat dude. If you're not doing what I want, get the fuck out of my house. That should, and I hope it is. I said, I am going to be able to tell a whole lot at the end of season presser, because I can't get up there and I can't have these forced words of, synergy and cohesion. And what was the one that we put the ding to every time, Phil? What was that one? Collaboration
and regression.
That's my point.
Those were the 2 seasons.
Kenneth, let's just say the Bears win 3 games again, and Carolina wins 1 game, and the Bears are drafting 1 and 2 or 3. And their answer is to let Eberflus and Poles have their guy. Then it's over before it starts.
Well, listen.
Cannot do that.
I'm not Mr. Call for a person's job.
Oh, I am.
I know. Guys, I'm just saying me. I'm just saying me. But you can't bring Matt Eberflus back.
Can't.
And the excuse of it can fall on Luke Getsy is not enough. This is through the whole coaching staff. I'm the only reason that I'm like, and this, you brought it up already. Only reason I'm kind of like, okay, Ryan Poles, you could kind of hang around, is because Kevin should have his what's, because it's like, dude, I'm giving you a chance. You mess this up. But basically I'm in control. This is more of me. But I also say this, and again, while we're coming up with hypotheticals, what if the Bears tell Kevin Warren they want to bring in a search firm, And then that tells us he doesn't have the power that we think he has.
Yeah, that
Correct.
You know,
well, then he should fucking quit the job.
he
right
should.
there.
He should after
What
leaving
the
the Big
fuck is
Ten.
it?
What's the point of even being?
Yeah,
but you know what?
exactly.
You never know who you get in bed with until something messed up
right.
happens.
That's right.
No,
You
you're
know,
100%.
you never know until that's how you. And we all have fabulous women in our lives. You don't know until some real stuff happens, and you be like, I can really depend on you, or I can trust you that person can. Like, for instance, you guys are friends. I'm sure you guys have had some heated arguments, but in having those arguments and being honest with each other, it was a new understanding in that. Like, you know what? Yeah, we get past it. That's my guy. Whatever. We moving on. And I would hope I would hope that would be the nature of what's taking place on the business wise. They don't have to be buddies. I'm talking about the McCaskies and Kevin Warren. But I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just tired. It's too early in the year. Like, dude, I'm walking out. I'm walking out in the garage yesterday, and Josh and I stopped. I'm like, dude, I don't want to talk about the draft right now. Like, I really don't. It's not fun. It's 11 more games left.
11.
And we just had this conversation
Shane
today, Phil and I did on the phone. I'm like,
there's 11 more.
11 more of these, man. And I said, that's all you think about from January or February until it kicks off.
Bears.
Oh, that's what we got to get back. Got football season back, and now you got 11 more of these left, and you're like, they're so inept. They make you not care.
Mike V has a point. I mean, this is a thing with us in this region. Stop giving them your bread. Just facts. Like, if someone's not doing something, listen, we all do this. Go to a store and they disrespect you. How often do you go back to that store? You like, look, and it may not make you close, but you're not getting my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, it may look, hey, you may continue to be successful. Guess what? It won't be with my funds. I'm just, man, I won't even say I'm flabbergasted. Shane hit it. I'm numb. Because it's like, here we go again. And it's just like,
to use your store analogy, Kenneth, that's the thing. And you know, I can remember when my son was born and Hila said to me, you got to let him pick his own sports teams. I'm like, no. I've been waiting my whole life to force my sports addiction onto my son. No, he's not picking shit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So my son is a rabid Bears fan now, but now, you know, my only solace is I use it as a teaching moment. I'm like, Riley, we are bad, but you know what? We're not running from that. We're going to stay loyal. That's part of being, you know, all of his buddies are running around in Warriors jerseys and Mahomes jerseys and, you know, stuff like that. And they're switching it up every year. And I'm like, we ain't those guys. That's not the way that it goes.
I have to break out the Hardball Christmas album again.
Well, get into it. He's on the top of our list.
He's on the top
Harbaugh.
of my list.
Is he on yours?
17 years.
Listen, yeah, definitely. And I'll say this. The best part is he may win it this year. Yeah, also, check me out on NBC's Big Ten Country. But he may actually
check him out.
Because with that, now because I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Georgia has to lose. But Michigan, I think, may be that team this year. All right. I think the cream of the Big Ten can play maybe with everybody. I'm a Drew Aller guy. He's not ready yet, but Penn State's defense is crazy. All right. Yes. But because I always say this too when you bring up that point, Shane. I go to Pete Carroll leaving USC. You know one of the reasons I love when Pete Carroll left USC? Because he had been scouting all those high school kids. And look at the drafts that Seattle had, though, that year he got there in the next few years. He had been scouting all those players since high school. So you're bringing in someone who knows everyone out there on that lower level. So Harbaugh was scared. Look at how quickly the 49ers took off. But I would have no problem. And also, you know what I would love about it? He's going to want so much control. Like, he's the type of guy where, listen, Ryan Pace, you're going to basically do what I want to do or you need to go now.
Polls.
Yeah, thank you. I've been doing that this week. I don't know why I preferred it. But he's going to basically tell Ryan Poles, look, and he should because he's been there. Yeah. These are the guys that I want, for my program. And if you're not going to necessarily go along with the way that I want it, if we're not going to have the same relationship that Veach has with Andy Reid and whoever else has been a general manager down there at Kansas City, then because they're going with what the Reid wants. Yeah, they may have the better idea of their scouting, but they need to fit the system. You're out. I have no problem. Because I don't know who else is really out there, to be honest with you.
I don't want to do the first. I thought about this exact scenario today.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that we talked about a first-time guy, but I've always had a hunch on this guy. Hasn't been a head coach yet, but I think he's going to end up being a home run no matter who gets him, and he's been bouncing around, and that's Josh McCown.
Oh yeah, that's a good throw. That's a
because he almost was Houston's. He was almost Houston's head coach.
Well, it's very quarterback driven, and I think he's going to be a guy that obviously knows the league. He's going to know everybody everywhere in terms of connections to bring in and build a staff. So that to me is the very interesting name that I think has been in the league, is in the league right now, is working with Bryce Young. And there's Rick Spielman. I don't know if he does a podcast every week, and they're talking about stuff, and there's been a lot, David Tepper's been in the news quite a bit, Carolina's owner.
Mm-hmm.
And now word is that David Tepper got the quarterback that he wanted, not that the coaching staff and the front office wanted.
It wasn't the quarterback I would have taken. I was all CJ Stroud. I'm beyond, and
I'm with you. Phil was with Bryce, but
I'm Bryce.
Yeah,
It's Phil. It's if you look at what he did in college, yes, I'm gonna tell you my flaw. I can't go undersized quarterback. I can't. I'm just being honest with you.
That's the thing.
I can't. And look, so I just, for me, I will lose, and sometimes you will lose like that, right? I would know as a general manager that there may be someone special that I would miss out on. But I and that's the only reason why with Bryce Young is just like, you know what, I'm out. I'm gonna go with this kid because his measurables are well, and it seemed like he knew what he was doing at Ohio State. It's the same with Kyler Murray, and this is the point before we knew Kyler Murray was immature. But the same thing where it's a fear for me, to be honest with you, when it comes to that.
Yeah, you got to have the offensive line.
You do.
You got to build that. But I still will see, like,
he wasn't that small, straight smoke. Rex wasn't 5'10".
No. And
right.
There ain't I'll tell you what. Well, Kenneth, you watch Alabama like I do. Bryce Young was never 204 pounds at any point at Alabama.
Never, ever,
174, ever. Maybe.
Yeah. And again, look, it's not, dude, he had the whip down there too. All right. But again, that was my fear. And I for this draft just passed, my number one quarterback was CJ Stroud. I was like, if I was going to take one, and then I watch him at times, I'm like, why can't mine do that? Yeah. But that was my number one quarterback.
That's the word. That's the word, is that Tepper.
Mm-hmm.
And Tepper made the pick.
That Tepper made the pick, front office and coaching staff.
Well, we had video of them, so I don't know. They were all in there.
Then there's this also, that Carolina's whole crew went to Tuscaloosa to meet with Saban to talk about Bryce Young. And when it was go time for the actual meeting with Saban, Tepper had his whole crew with him. Tepper walked into the door first and closed it behind him.
What's the point of hiring those people then?
So that's but this happens with, and I'm glad they're inept down there. I hope it falls apart, and I hope they don't win a game in Carolina this year.
Oh, of course we don't. We definitely don't want them to win not one stinking game this season.
But go ahead.
Jacob Schroba, $4.99. I got to get some of these super chats. F it. Draft both Williams and May. What do you got to lose? Just kidding. But what do you guys think? Do you have to lose? We have never picked the right quarterback. Are you off of Justin Fields here, Kenneth? Or is the chaos of coaching kind of putting the difficult to analyze it? Shane and I have taken a lot of heat because we've been like in the middle here.
Mm-hmm.
But, Fields has his warts. And when you criticize him, it becomes a racial thing where on our network, it's like this. If I thought Bryce Young was a better college quarterback, this has nothing to do with anything of that. And it seems like
you guys need to stop being racial.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, that was the thing that we said if we had the number one pick, you'd take Caleb Williams, and they're like, "You're racist. You don't like Justin." I'm like,
I got today. I don't like white quarterbacks on Twitter today. I found that amusing.
You got the
it's
opposite.
like Ken doesn't like white quarterbacks.
Ken don't like white quarterbacks.
Okay.
Ken likes
you
any.
Should have said I don't. Mike
Ken
Glennon's fucking horrible. That's what you should.
Any
said.
quarterback that's going to win. That's what we're trying to see.
You know what? This is the thing. Let me tell y'all this.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter who I like, because you know what? The person who I may like may not be able to withstand whatever fuckery takes place here. Yeah. It may be someone that it may be, and again, this wouldn't happen. It may be injury prone Michael Penix Jr. Right? Like, because I'm a Bears fan, so you know what that means? It means I know diddly squat about quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's damn near what it. And again, I'm joking because I watch the league. I don't just watch the Bears, but still, it's one of those things. Look, if I have a preference, I will probably lean towards Caleb, but Caleb has footwork issues where it's just sometimes like, yo, you can't live like that all the time. But the special traits that he has, it interests me. But I'll say this too, and this is a new kind of thing. I'm moving closer to being like damn near how the league is going. You almost got to be 6'2" may be the limit. But if you code at 6'1", I may pass. But I don't like undersized quarterback. I'm not saying Caleb is undersized, but I really prefer 6'3" and up. If I'm being honest with you, for my quarterback, that's where I'm just because dog, these compared to even when we were younger, these linemen are huge. They're huge, and I know, Phil, you're talking about throwing lanes and everything like that. Sometimes I need a guy that lane may not be open and he can go over the top. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you just never they're too fast. You know what I'm saying? Like these aren't the linemen we grew up with. You know what I'm saying? Like they're too quick. Think about the interior linemen. Like, dude, you got guys that are in the interior that are 6'5" that can penetrate like they're 6'1". You know, like it's so. Getting back to the quarterback thing. Oh, getting back all the way what you're saying. So Justin, Justin holds onto the ball way too long. Justin, that injury was on Justin.
6.9
right.
seconds.
That when Justin, when Daniil Hunter tackled it before that, but when Daniil Hunter tackled him, I said he's not gonna make it to the end of this game.
Yeah,
this is one of those games he's going out because he was taking hits.
And DJ Moore was wide open on the curl.
He sure was. He sure was. But it also, and again, we knew
Komet was wide open.
DJ was too.
DJ was too.
Wide open.
Yeah. Just like when Darnell Mooney came open, but he started to. This was in the red zone. He started to run up into the pocket, climb the pocket, ready to run. And then the lineman. I know Brian Flores was going to throw the kitchen sink at him, but still, some of the mistakes that those offensive linemen made was criminal. And Cody was spraying all fields, and he had been doing that. But this game, it was even more apparent where it was like, yeah, Cody's being Cody. But getting to Justin, it gets to the point where it's like, can he get fixed here? But I like Justin. You guys remember prior to the draft, I said that Ryan Pace was going to do whatever he had to do to get Justin. But I kind of, because Chicago stinks, I want him to find a place where he can perhaps find out who he truly is as a quarterback. So, but I'll say this: the last couple of games, it made me feel like, because I was ready to move off of Justin. I'm just going to be honest with you. But the last couple of games prior to this injury, I was like, yo, I want to see how this plays out, because if he can go through the fire here in Chicago and win from the pocket, not how he won last year, win from the pocket and show us that, this may be interesting, even if his contract doesn't line up with how long it's going to take for this team to contend. We may have that guy now, and it may be like, you know what? The contract doesn't line up, but this may be the guy, because we never have a guy. If he's out 4 to 5 games, I mean, do you know how spectacular? And it wouldn't just be spectacular like it's a flash. It would be spectacular like, yo, I don't know if I've seen this before, that he would have to be for me to move off of being like, it may be time to move off of this
But
situation.
here's the question, and this is where it gets interesting. You're not getting Caleb Williams if you don't have the number 1 pick.
You're not.
That's
You're not.
simple. So then it becomes at number 2, whoever is there. If they need a quarterback, they're going to take Drake May. And I am on record. I'm not moving off of Justin for Drake May. I'm saying that for me right now.
I am the opposite.
Yeah,
but
I am not.
Listen, why is that dude my dude? I haven't said that, but again, I see why people like Drake May, and I think Drake May be a hell of an NFL quarterback.
There's
my
a ton
own
to love there. There's
a ton.
There's a lot. I think
is he
he's going to be
6'2", Kenneth? I want to know.
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah. No. He height wise, he fits. He fits the bill.
He's in the
watching him. Who did I see? I forgot which Big Ten team they played this year at the beginning of the season. That he carved up. But the thing with him is, I think, and we got, because this is the debate that we've been having, and that's just why someone said on Twitter what they said about me, because Josh was talking about there's 2 elite quarterbacks in his draft. And I was like, or special. I think he said special. And I said, there's a difference between special and elite. There's one special guy. Mm-hmm. There may be a couple or a few elite guys in this draft. If they ended up and it fell to Drake May, and Drake May proved to be right, I wouldn't be upset having Drake May. But your point, Shane, is I don't know how much, and this isn't a knock on this guy because his head coach is terrible. I don't know how much Justin Herbert is in Drake May. And when I'm saying
that's
that is
my comp. That's my
comp. See, this is my thing,
that's
Phil. Justin Herbert physically
Shane
can be
didn't like Justin Herbert coming out. Me and him
had
that debate.
But listen, I wasn't but that was more of an Oregon thing.
Yes.
That's how they and then if you remember that last year, they kind of told him they didn't really want him running or whatever.
Right.
And if you got, and it's funny when you brought up the Tepper thing, Shane, it made me think of Brian Flores versus the front office with Herbert, Tua. And if we're being honest, Herbert still would have been better than drafting Tua, even if Tua stays healthy this season. But my only issue is, and I know that Herbert's wide receivers continue to get hurt, even though if you drafted Mike Williams and you knew coming out of Clemson type of neck injuries that he had there, that's going to come with the territory, to be honest with you. But one thing about Herbert that I don't know if Herbert has that special that, of course, Baby Goat has. All right. And I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes, that special that we Brady's gone, but of course the special that at time, the special that we see someone like Joe Burrow has, the special that, and it comes and goes at times that but we've seen Josh Allen have it. You know what I'm saying? Where I think physically, because again, Justin Herbert may be the best quarterback in the league, right? Like arm strength wise, him and Josh Allen, and I'm a Patrick Mahomes guy. They can't spin it like Patrick Mahomes, but arm strength wise, these guys are ridiculous when you're looking at their arm strength. So that's where with me, I look at the fact that the Bears always need more, Phil. And that's leans me more to Caleb, because I'm like, look, for instance,
I'm a Caleb is the Jordan of the draft 15 years. I've not seen a quarterback like this.
Okay.
People came at me with the Notre Dame game. I'm like, one game does not make a quarterback. I go, every quarterback. And then I brought up Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech, throwing 4 picks in a game. Tom Brady in the NFL threw 4. It's going to happen. That's football. You're going to get your number plucked, and it's a team game. Right. Caleb does things that I envy. I have never. He's Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes together.
Good point.
That's
Great point.
The kind of fucking accuracy, anticipate. Then he can create out of the pocket and do things that are just silky smooth with ball plays, man. I mean, it's amazing.
Here's the interesting rub, and this is, I think, a continuation of what we're talking about that we have to look at.
Yeah,
we brought up 2 coaches in Harbaugh and Josh McCown. Now,
I have one coach I'd like to throw into this. I don't know if it would ever happen, but one coach. Could I put him out? Kyle Whittingham of Utah, to get him out of Utah. This is one of the best coaches Utah fundamentally, this football team always competes. They're so well coached. He is a great coach. I don't know if he'll ever leave,
Right.
But that guy would be on my list of people that Kevin Warren can get that maybe somebody else couldn't get, that I hope he could.
What we have to look at is, let's just say they fire everybody.
Yes.
The coaching staff.
Tomorrow.
I'm saying. Front office stays. Kevin Warren says, hey, Ryan, I'm going to keep you on. I'm going to give you a little bit more of a leash. So they go out, and Harbaugh is the guy, and Harbaugh's coming in with power. But you also have the number 1 pick in the draft. But Harbaugh says, I don't want a rookie quarterback. I love everything that Justin Fields brings to the table, and I know he has warts, but that's why you're bringing me here. Because I can fix that.
Trust Harbaugh 100%. You have to.
That's the interesting part of all this. And I saw somebody in the chat say, oh, Shane's just saying that because he's a huge Fields guy. I am a Fields fan, but I'll move off. If we have the number 1 pick in the draft, I have no problem if the Bears draft Caleb Williams and replace Justin Fields. My point is, it's going to be interesting. Is Harbaugh going to come here with a rookie quarterback? And I'm not so sure he's going to.
He might. He
did it. Know. He did. He did it with what's his name? Damn, how am I going? Colin. No, he did
Colin
it with
Colin Kaepernick. They had Alex Smith though.
But again, it was one of those.
Yeah.
It looks Alex Smith got Alex Smith
aside.
the same way he did in Kansas City. Yeah. He got Alex Smith. Shane. I'll say that's an interesting thing. I would say this though, Shane.
But you got three Big Ten guys there too that are very
Kevin, Harbaugh,
and Justin being. I'm just throwing this out there because we have to look at every single avenue, and you can't look at Justin's 24 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think that all has to be
I want to
into
say
consideration.
This,
but then the contract part comes up.
I know how to fix Justin Fields. I've said it for the last 2 years. It's power run game, action off of it, and
common sense football. Bill
fits Jim Harbaugh to a T that he would be able to do this. The fact that you're in the gun, it's dude.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Gun. You're in the gun. You're in the gun.
You're in my head.
Fucking ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
How the fuck? All right. And I don't come on here cursing that often. Are you in a short yardage situation? Right. And look, I hate it with proficient offenses, but you're not a proficient offense. You're in a short yardage situation and you go in the gun when your damn run game was semi-working and you needed a yard to give your quarterback more bites at the apple and to continue to gel and keep the offense going. It was not go for it time. It was get the first so we get 3 more bites at the damn apple. That's like, you know what that is akin to? A fast break, right? And the lane is open. I get into the paint and I throw it out to somebody on the arc that isn't Steph Curry and they bounce the damn thing off the rim. That's the stats, and it's maddening when you see that. It's like, this is common sense football, all right? Either get your ass an I form, all right, or QB's tushy push it and get the damn 1 yard. Do not play around with the screen pass out of the shotgun.
Triple.
Like, oh my goodness. That's where it gets infuriating, to say the least. But then again, real quick, I'll say this to Shane's point, and then boy, you be coming up with some stuff. I think this will be the thing if Harbaugh was the guy. I think we have to then look at, Shane, how much of this roster does Harbaugh believe it fits what he wants to do in the pros? Yeah. Because Harbaugh may be like, you know what, this may be a 3-year type of deal here.
Absolutely.
And that may need him to reshuffle paying Justin.
Be like, Poles, you signed a tight end that fucking is a pussy?
There you go. Waiting for this. Well, let me get some Jalen stuff too while we up here too.
Jalen Carter, yeah.
No, not Jalen Carter, Jalen Johnson. No, don't let me get on the Jalen Carter board because I done had epic Jalen Carter rants about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
I know Jim Harbaugh would not appreciate Cole Kmet. He'd be the first to go. Maybe they use him. I don't even know how they use him. Oh my God. Jesus. I listen.
Well, let's ask this, Kenneth.
Go ahead.
Just
we should go through the rock.
Yeah.
DJ Moore.
Remove being impartial. What is, if you're digging down into your gut real deep, what do you think happens? If you're looking in the Kenneth Davis crystal ball, what do you feel like is going to happen at the end of the year in Chicago? What's going to be the path that they take?
If things remain the same as far as victories, and let's just say they have 1 to 2 more victories than last season. So I'm saying maybe they get to 5 victories. My gut would be that the coaching staff is gone. That's what my gut would tell me. I would hope that Ryan Poles is smart enough to know you need to get rid of this head coach. Yeah. It's just the truth of the matter. Part of the reason, this is the thing, part of the reason that it was like, all right, you bringing in this defensive coordinator was he was supposed to have that defense pumping. Now, this is on Ryan Poles too, because you guys brought in Chase Claypool, right?
Yeah,
you brought in Nate Davis, and again, sorry for the death of Nate Davis' family, but we all know that if Mike Grable doesn't want him, it's the same as Mike Tomlin not wanting Chase Claypool. There's a reason behind it. And you told us that there's only some people that, we can't bring anybody in here because the hits principle and, to kind of have the tenor that we need in this locker room. And these are vets that already have been used to doing whatever the hell they want to do. But you couldn't go out and get a kid who had messed up and you may have been able to mold that clay. And if not, after 4 years, you move off of them. And during that 4 years, listen, let's not forget, like when I remember like people comparing Jalen Carter to Albert Haynesworth. Wasn't nothing wrong with Albert Haynesworth after his second year at Tennessee. It's after he went to Washington and stole that there was a problem with Albert Haynesworth.
He got paid, yeah.
Right. Yeah. It was you bring that troublemaker in, you use him. If he doesn't learn how to get his act together, do we not remember some times where there were some alarm bells with Roquan? Roquan still in the league, got paid by the Ravens. There's been a few guys that we've seen. Anybody that's a Bulls fan, I remember I wanted Joakim Noah. And I thought Joakim Noah, it was going to take longer for him to get his act together. I remember when he got suspended, when Ben Wallace and Adrian Griffin wanted him suspended longer. And I was like, he's going to mess up 2 more times. He really never messed up really big after that, right? Guys can learn what the program is about. But you sat there, and I'm getting back to Matt Eberflus, and Matt Eberflus should have been pounding the table for his own life. The thing is, and again, this is a hypothetical. I really feel like our feelings on this team would be different if they drafted Jalen Carter, because I think that defense will be different. And I'm not saying they would be world beaters, but I'm saying from that pocket collapse up the middle, and also I'm saying that I will hold.
Would Justin be paralyzed at this point with no right tackle?
No. The point, but no. Keep that same energy though, Shane. Yeah. Because they would have more bites at the apple, and they would.
I get it. Yeah.
They would be flipping the field so much easier, and we could actually see coaching defenses if Matt Eberflus was really worth a damn. But they have no pressure up front. Like that's
Here's where they turn around and they draft this kid from fucking Florida, who
Dexter Jr. Senior.
Yeah. I had so many. I was like devastated. Like, who is this kid? Just doesn't have it. It wasn't the scheme. Yes, he's had some moments or whatever at Florida, and I'm just not seeing it translate here. I love the kid from USC, Thule, and he could have played 3 tech for you too. I see what you're saying too. But I think he goes to a place that's perfect for him, and that's why you know what I'm saying.
Okay, let me push back on that. I'm gonna tell you. So now I like that we're having this conversation. I'm talking about a guy that, in particular, interior of the defensive line, that's about want as far as consistency. That's why, to be honest with you, and we had Herb Howard on our show last year before the draft, and we were talking about it. And Yeah, me too. Josh and I, the thing is, when people really go off interior defensive linemen, one, their share life is short. Aaron Donald is a crazy outlier, the craziest outlier of outliers when you're talking about to have a decade from the interior where you're getting sack numbers like an edge rusher. That's ridiculous. And usually guys get beat up and they don't last that long.
So I'm looking at 11 sacks that season, then no more. Right.
Exactly. It's a flash. Like, even if we really looked at like Warren Sapp's prime years, it's going to be shorter than what you think. There may be some blips or whatever. We grew up here watching John Randall. Now, John Randall was nice for a long period of time. But the point still was being that this offense needed a 3 technique, right?
Defense.
Thank you. This defense needed a 3. One fell to you at 9 that you had a built-in excuse to be like, draft value-wise, he was at 9. He was a bust. For the most part, we would have dissed him, but we all would have been like, yo, you kind of had to do that. Now, and I'm not saying that Darnell Wright may not become a decent right tackle, but this is where the calculus with Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham fails me. You force-fed me Braxton Jones, right? A 5th-round pick. You've told me that you can find the best offensive lineman on the offense, the left tackle, in the 5th round, right? But then your calculus tells me you have to get a right tackle in the top 10. But you just told me you can find a tackle anywhere in the damn draft because Braxton Jones has had no competition. But one, you tell me all the time this is about competition. How is it about competition if you guys pick and choose who never gets any competition? And if you would have given Braxton Jones competition, only thing we would have asked for is someone who could be as good, if not better, or an effing swing tackle. You don't even have a swing tackle. You messed up Borum. Not to say that but Borum was a world killer. You tried to do the same thing to Tevin Jenkins, right? You tried to do this.
He should be playing left tackle, Tevin.
He should be playing some tackle. Regardless of whichever side it is.
I agree with you. Totally agree.
But then you tell me, this is the thing where it comes to the front. You told me this is what you were great at. For real. This is what, this was the equivalent of Green Bay being like, we do this with quarterbacks, right? We draft them, we find them. Well, if you're telling me you do this offensive lineman, failure. But again, all the way to my initial point, if they were getting penetration, like the Bears got good DBs, they're not staying healthy. They got good DBs. If they was getting penetration, this defense would be different. Y'all did nothing with the front four. And I'm talking about Ryan Poles here. You did nothing up front. People were getting upset with me talking about Terrell Lewis. I was like, it's like, dude, I understand that we all love our depth guys and we see it, but let's be honest about game records in the NFL. They don't have them. They don't. How's the defense supposed to work if the quarterback can stand in the pocket and do whatever the hell he wants? And of course, usually when you're running a cover 2, you're not pressuring and blitzing like that. You know what I'm saying? Most cover 2 coordinators / head coaches don't want to send the blitz that often, right? So
that's why you got the wrong coach. Because
I'm not going to debate you on that.
You got the wrong scheme. This is a different NFL.
It is.
Everybody's playing cover 2, but everybody, to your point, and those of you that are saying Kenneth's wrong, it's up for debate. If you are playing Tampa 2, then you are saying we're going to win with our 4 down linemen. And right now you got Rasheed Green, you got Walker, and you got Yannick, and you got who? Billings, who's a nose man, and you're 100% right. There's no one. Yannick is your veteran. He's a workman like Pat. He's got a motor. He plays hard. He's going to get you some sacks here and there. Walker should be on the 3 technique. The rookie from South Carolina should be a 3 technique. They put him at nose. They put this fucking Dexter should be the nose. They put him at 3. So even in the department of personnel, they're fucking wrong. Let's go to the offensive line now. They put a left tackle at guard. They put center. They switch the center, then go to the left guard. Then you go to the right guard. Let's put this center here. Let's put this right tackle. This is what these dumbasses do. It's only the Bears. I don't see this anywhere else. And to your point, they probably would fucking ruin this talent, Jalen Carter, here anyway, because they would depend on him being out there for the whole game as a, you know what I'm saying?
He'd be out there for 78 snaps a game.
Or would you and would you have even brought in Unique Ngakoue? And real quick with the Braxton Jones thing, I'm not saying Braxton Jones hasn't gotten stronger. Like sometimes we have to stop this. Just because you like someone, first of all, don't think I don't like him.
Right.
I like Braxton Jones' character. I think he's honest. I think it's unfair what they did to Braxton Jones, is what I'm trying to say to you. The fact that steel sharpens steel, and they never sharpen that steel. They never sharpen that steel. Like, even if you bring in somebody and he beats him out, that vet teaches him better technique. Like, who's the tackle veteran to teach these young kids how to play tackle on this team? It's like, nah, kiddo, when you step back, you need to come with strength. Like, who's there? You got a bunch of depth guys who
are just talking, and Justin Jones.
I think that's part of the reason that Jalen Carter's not here.
Patrice makes a good point too here. I wouldn't have taken Carter, but the argument for Carter revolves around the belief in your head coach, ability to control, and the important part, teach this kid.
And I think it's critical. We don't know what went on with the one-on-one meetings either. And that's very critical. And the Bears aren't the only team that, I mean,
they pass on him.
Let's
the league. You can say the league passed on him.
Imagine if he was in Detroit right now.
Don't say that.
No,
somebody, you know what I hate more than that.
You know what I hate Gibbs right now for Jalen Carter.
You know what I hate more than that. I'm gonna tell you what I hate more than that. When people now tell me, imagine if Caleb Williams ends up in Minnesota, and I'm like, don't do me like that. Like there's some.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
That does kick me in the nuts right there.
Don't do me like I'm living a bad life when it comes to the Bears already. Don't do me like where I got to go through a more like why can't we have the run that Green Bay had? Right?
It's the coach, Kenneth. It starts
it's more
there.
No, it's
then
more
the
than
quarterback.
That. Phil, everybody that come here never does it for us. Like, okay, I'm gonna even go back. Let me go back. I'm gonna even go back. So I'm gonna really get people mad. Y'all never bringing me back after this.
Back to Cali.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if the Bears have ever had a supremely great head coach. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you why. I know Papa Bear Hollis. I know Papa Bear Hollis won championships, so I wasn't around. He may have, but I also know he couldn't figure it out with Dick Buckets, Doug Buffon, and Gale Sayers. All right, so that's an argument for a different day. Dick is special team coach, right, at Dallas, right? You look at what Buddy Ryan did with that defense. I'm not saying Dick. Listen when I say this, all right? Listen to the nuances what I said. I'm talking about an elite head coach, all right? An elite head coach. Dick was good enough to keep it together. But you look at the drafting that they did. You look at having Buddy Ryan, even though I know the year after Buddy left, the defense was even more stingier when it came to points. I know that already. The point that I'm just still saying is here as the Bears, because even if you talk about Dickey, he won one with that defense. All the players.
I disagree on Ditka, but go ahead.
I mean, but we also have to realize sometimes. So we were having this discussion yesterday, and I was like, "How many great coaches have we had in Chicago?"
No, go ahead. I want you to.
I'm like, okay, so Phil Jackson.
Oh, in Chicago.
I'm talking about sports.
Okay.
I said Phil Jackson. I guess Joe Quenneville. You could say Joe Madden, but remember, if Cubs fans, y'all remember how y'all won that World Series? It didn't taste as good because he damn near gave that bad boy away, right? And then you look at what he did in Anaheim. But my argument is here in Chicago, and again, Dick is an outlier. Ditka did a phenomenal job. He held it together. But I'm really talking about, and it's not about X's and O's, because sometimes you're just the CEO, and you have to keep it going. But I'm talking about winning titles is what I'm talking about, Phil. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about winning, not a title. Just like John has said, and put the fear and ownership in Milwaukee. Like, I don't want to be a one title winning guy, right? I'm talking about titles. Like, and we always, and again, he's the best.
In the defensive Ditka, he still carries the best football team to ever play.
But he didn't. Wait, hold on, stop. That's BS.
They are the
I'm gonna tell you why.
best
That's,
that
I'm
ever
gonna tell.
did it.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not the point that I'm trying to make.
Oh, okay.
The point
What
I'm trying to
are you
make is that defense was Buddy Ryan's. All
You
right.
can't he's the
No,
head
we
coach.
can't. No.
He
No.
decided. They fought.
Now you're cheating because the people that don't know, George
Go ahead.
Hallis told Ditka, listen, you can do whatever the hell you is, but this coordinator is going to be your coordinator. Ditka couldn't even pick his defensive coordinator. All right.
No, but
George
there
Hallis,
is an agreement in there.
George Hallis thrust him upon him because he knew how great Buddy Ryan was. And the reason that you say that was the greatest team outside, of course, of sweetness and Jim McMahon being healthy, because we know how battered he was. And I'm not putting that as a diss to Jim McMahon, but the real reason is because of that defense. All right. And that was.
It did have the #1 offense that year, too. I'm just saying it's the truth.
I'm gonna have the #1. Listen, before Miami figured out how to mess up the 4-6, I'm gonna have the #1 offense too, because we getting that ball back about 5 more times than every other team in the league.
I'm just saying,
okay,
all those personalities, all of those people, as you said, the CEO, this fucking guy held it together. You can hate the guy.
You're making it seem like nobody. I don't know. See, now you're cheating. I didn't say no. I didn't say anything about his politics. I didn't say no. But this is my point. Really is saying it that no one else could have done that. Like when, like we're saying, like no one. And the thing is, and why the nostalgia effects kicks up is because he gave us the attitude that he like when you have a head coach to go along with the team like that he has the same type of attitude, and they're all basically like kiss my ass. It can be intoxicating. Like, and for that's a
place that I give Ditka credit for.
But Phil, you also not talking about how
it's a reflection of the head coach.
No, but you're not talking about also how disruptive it was that commercial wise, where he was telling guys don't do commercials and then going to do. But
about that. He said after they got to this level, they all were doing fucking commercials.
But guess what? Then that's the point.
To put a stop to it, and then he's doing it.
Right, but Phil, that's the point where he's supposed to show them. He's supposed to show them what they're supposed to do. So you can't tell me not to go out here and get this money when you're getting this truck going out and getting money you told me not to get.
He's not flawless. I agree.
But that Phil, that was 5 years of still a great defense that they should have won another. Do you know, as a kid watching the slurs to beat my team and talking about the damn watching the Giants?
What happened in Washington? The fucking punt return.
No. You know what happened?
Broke his rib. Remember that shit?
We know what happened with Washington.
Darryl Green.
They had a head coach who took his ego out of it and could win with 3 different quarterbacks. All right,
Joe Gibbs, yes.
And we only could win with 1. All right, we only could win
2. Steve Walsh.
I'm talking about
Walsh. Steve Fuller. We had to put Fuller in.
Fuller had to go in, but you know what? I'm talking about for the entirety of the season for the most. I'm talking about winning championships with 3 different quarterbacks. Is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking. I'm like, the point of the matter is I'm talking championships.
What was Schrader, Rippon, and Doug Williams? Correct?
No, I think the first one wasn't Theismann was the first. I thought Theismann was the first one. It was Theismann, Rippon, and Doug Williams. Yeah. Joe Gibbs won with 3 different quarterbacks. Forget, and this isn't a you thing. This is for all of. Forget what we like. It's about Super Bowl victories. Like, that's what it's all about. All this other stuff, we're basically going over semantics about how it tastes when it goes down. I don't care if it hits my belly and it's a Super Bowl and I didn't like how it tastes. It tastes like cod liver oil. Give me some more cod liver oil. All right. He could be the most boring in MF forever. But if that MF is consistently putting me in place to where my team, all right, can do what Bill Belichick. What Bill Belichick did. Now we know it was a lot more Brady, because I would have told you I was leaning Belichick back in the days. But if my dude can still give me championships, like why don't we deserve that? And I'm not even looking at the comments. I'm not trying to diss y'all. Y'all know I love y'all over here. It's not even a diss on y'all. I'm just trying to get it to the point where we get the BS out of that, because a lot of this is about race, right? Like, I don't like this. Not you guys. I'm just saying, like, because we really don't. A lot of us aren't being honest. A lot of times we're not honest about our biases a lot of times. Right. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, I'm a black dude. I've never had a successful quarterback in Chicago, let alone a black quarterback. All right. But still, the point is, I just want to win.
I agree.
That's it, dude. I want to say, like, I want to talk shit to somebody about my team consistently.
Win. Yes,
consistently.
I agree.
That's the thing, and at this point, it's whoever you put. You can go back to when they were winning with Lovey.
It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough.
Exactly.
I'm arguing with Shane. I argue in the streets with. So again, me being a brother, because people want to go back to they fired Lovey and look. It was time for Lovey to go.
It was. Kenneth,
they missed. People forget how many times they missed the playoffs.
How many wins does Lovey Smith have as a head coach since he left the Chicago Bears? I know the exact number.
I don't. Give me a minute.
Let's go. He's thinking. Play that Jeopardy music, Claude.
14 to 13. 13 to 14.
27. But that's between Tampa, Illinois, and Houston.
I forgot Illinois. I forgot. I know it's count, but no. I say this to people. People keep saying like, and again, thanks, Lovey. We appreciate how you looked out. But people keep saying that. And then the greatest thing about Lovey, I'm gonna say even better about Lovey. He helped them because they were gonna take Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Remember that people like Lovey messed them over. Everybody would have taken Bryce Young probably number one. And I said, I was going to go CJ Stroud. He helped them there that they were going to take Bryce Young, and you set up Temper to go get Bryce Young, basically, or whatever. But no, it was time for Lovey. Lovey was missing a playoff. Like that, dude. I can't sit here. Look, I cannot sit here and get on Mike Dicker, who won a Super Bowl, right, and was in the playoffs, and then be like, but they should have kept Lovey. No, it's not enough. Like, stop. Get out of that mindset. Like, we have this abusive relationship, and I used to always use this. I used to always use this when my show with D and Davis first started. We go from an abusive relationship where it's like, yeah, he used to punch me, but now he don't punch me no more. He hit me with an open hand, and we act like that's better.
Right?
That's not better. It's abuse still. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people want to go because it's like, yeah, it felt good. The 80s Bears felt good, but if you don't understand, there was more to be gained. To be honest with you, there was more to be gained, and us as Bears fans have to demand that we get what we want. Exactly. We have to demand it.
I hear you, man, and that's the thing. Even back when Lovey was here, are we going to pretend like we didn't have major issues on the same side of the ball that we've always had? And two of the best
clock management,
the best offensive players, young offensive players that you had in Thomas Jones and Greg Olsen
got traded.
And people still, I got into it with somebody like last week that was like, yeah, it was time for. First of all, I was on Greg Olsen's ass because he was a receiver in Chicago. Yeah. When he got to the Panthers, he became a tight end, and I'm talking about yak. Because Greg Olsen, you'd be like, and he'd be like, okay. But when he got down there, he got rugged down there. But the point still was he was too valuable, regardless of what Mike Martz was running. They could be like, I don't use tight ends. I'm going to get rid of him.
Why are you letting your offensive coordinator dictate personnel?
Right.
I know. Exactly. I think it was Greg Gabriel.
Lovey wanted him out.
Said that, that Mike Martz just said that they would refuse to play him. Well, then, I mean, Jesus. That's the thing. I look back at the Bears. So in 1998, the Bears drafted Curtis Enis. And in 2005, the Bears drafted Cedric Benson. So they drafted two running backs within the top 5 in 7 years, Kenneth, and neither one of them started as rookies. Where does that happen?
Wait, I'm sorry. Call weird, Mr. Davis. Why do you hate white head
coach? Oh yeah, he was going.
First, also, let me say this too. I love you, your guys, everyone who watches and participates or whatever. But I'm with you, Shane. But like again, this is my brother from another mother, Phil. I'm sorry because usually when I could see y'all
debate, right?
Yeah, this is I'm usually falling on this end. The type of
Shane.
I'm usually team Shane, but I mean, you take care of me though. Shane doesn't look after me like you look after me.
See, I always look.
You tell me when the COVID is coming from the east, you be like, Ken, look out, it's coming.
Exactly.
Right. Like
even when I debate with both of you because that's what we do as brothers.
Yeah,
I never
we need to have another person's point of view. I'm getting into it, Phil. I'm gonna give you one. I'm getting into it for the damn David Montgomery haters.
Listen,
right?
He's just drinking the Glenvit you brought to his house. Jim Larison. It's time for another party. Fuck Green Bay. Fuck Green Bay or fuck Greg Braggs. One of those.
What a fantastic party was thrown by that man and his wife, to say the least.
God.
And Phil and everybody at Tape Never Lies. What a fantastic event that was. And I didn't get to see my man, but he had great reasons for not being there. And I look forward to one day meeting him face to face.
We're going to do it. I don't know if
Jim,
do it this year.
How's Arizona, Jim? Oh my God, Jim!
By the time he gets to Arizona,
but oh my goodness, Jim! Oh my God, what a time was
We're
had.
in a text thread with Larison and Zorich. Phil and I are, and I was at work and Phil was at work, and just randomly, fucking Larison sends us this text. He's like, "Hey guys, look where I am," and I look down. He's at the fucking airport, and fucking 20 yards away, Air Force One. I'm like, oh, what's up, Jim? Enjoy your day, bro.
Jim was getting on Air Force One.
him and his fabulous wife and all their friends that we met that night. It was a great time. But my only thing again is this: we all don't have to agree with one another, and we're all Bears fans with different point of views. But we all want to be great as far as the thing we spend our Sundays and throughout the week researching. Spending time watching games, spending time watching the All 22, spending time talking to other people, and we have to demand better. Yeah. It's just that it makes no sense. We're back, dog. This is the craziest thing. This is, and I go to you, Phil. I go to you, Phil. I can remember you wanting to hold on to Khalil Mack, right? But the thing was, even if you wanted to do that, there had been more work to where you can be like, let's give this more of a chance. Because even if we could say, you could say it was 2 years, but some people will say it was one. But it even healthy, and he started getting banged up the second year, but you still could see what Khalil could do hurt, right?
Right.
But there was so much, there was more meat on the bone where you could be like, yo, we need to see what this can do. There's no meat on this bone. This bone was barren. They ripped the meat off, and it's worse the second year. That's when it's like, oh shit. And I mean, for everybody that second half, go ahead.
Your aunt cooks, and you know the shit is gonna be fire, right?
Right.
Your aunt cooks, but now aunt is not there. It's your cousin's aunt,
and she's 22, and she youngest. She don't know how to cook and went through nothing in life. Right?
The fucking wings are fucking
like, what
terrible.
the hell's a spice rack? Yeah,
right. Exactly.
Mac and cheese is awful. It's like. The Bears, I always hear Denny Green every fucking time.
Yeah,
right?
And he was right. He wasn't lying either.
They are who we thought they were.
Right. They look. People forget what a third preseason game was back then. And anybody that watched that third preseason game, because at this point we thought, is Matt Leinart kind of good in the pros? Because I think most of us like, I don't know how he gonna work in the pros. They listen. They had the Bears beat until the starters went out in that third preseason game. All right. And remember, the Bears didn't score nothing but defense and Devin Hester in that game when Denny Green said that, right? And he was right. They had them beat, and they gave the game away. And just like you said, dude, they stripped it down, and they're worse.
They're worse. They stripped it down and built it up. Like this is a more talented roster than it was last year. All the excuses. We all said preseason, you were on the show with us. There's no more excuses for Justin, Eberflus, Getsy. You got to show some semblance of consistent competing. We fucking had a game. We were up 28-7 and lost. We had a game. We also were down 31-0 at a halftime. The extreme swings of inconsistency should tell Kevin Warren, George McCaskey, and all of them, you're not even in the fucking ballpark with this coaching staff. They are gone.
You're a coach.
Yes.
All of us that play sports, you're a coach.
Yes.
I want to go back to the first game of the year, right?
Against the Packers.
True.
Yes.
Do you know how much despair I felt for this season after that game, particularly the second half? I know because we haven't had to, but this is the point I'm trying to make. Phil,
Go ahead.
you know the first 4 games, really the first 3, but you start making plays. Like I was watching Indiana versus Michigan last Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Indiana did some trickeration on their first series.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's the only thing. That's the only time they're going to score this game. And it was. They went up 7-zip and then lost like 52-7 or something like that, right? Against Michigan.
52-7, exactly.
But the thing was I'm getting the people that play sports. Because you know how often you do the trickeration. It gets to the point where it's lame in practice, where you're like, we're about to do it, you half-ass run through it or whatever, but you do it for the team you know you don't have a damn chance against, right? It's like, this is the only way we're going to score points against them, so let's get this out of the way because we don't want to have a goose egg because they may wallop on our ass. You sat there and you had the whole damn offseason to prepare for the Packers. The whole offseason. I get you don't know what Jordan Love is, but you still know to a degree what Matt LaFleur likes to run. Yes,
right.
Aaron Rodgers likes to do fuckery in a shotgun a lot. Exactly. Where it was times where if you don't get under that damn center, right? But Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, right? But you had a whole entire offseason and you came out and displayed that. After that game, I was like, oh my goodness. We may only win a couple games this year. After and that's the first game of the season. Think about this. We usually don't feel like that. We sometimes being a Bears fan, we're murky dismal, but you never feel like, damn, this. I didn't even think we was going to our pick. I didn't think the Bears pick was going to be this high this year. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Oh, I thought I'm on record as when people were talking about Caleb Williams. I'm like, you're not even going to be anywhere near there.
I was hoping worst case scenario for me, they're somewhere above or below the 10th pick. You can go 4, you can go to 8 to 12. I would prefer it to have been like 14, but Carolina, I would prefer if Carolina was in the top 3. All right. That was what I wanted. Top 4. That's what I was looking for. Right. And you're telling me our pick could be the first pick in the draft? That's ridiculous.
Well, going back to that game, Kenneth, you saw the same problems rear their head.
But on the fucking first drive,
3rd and 17, but deep in cut, wide open.
But even go away from the defense, Phil. Go right
first down, Green Bay. 3rd and 17, they get 19 to my guy Romeo Dubs. Then it's like, then we're 3rd and 1. We go in the shotgun.
Don't do that, Phil. I'm enjoying hanging out with you.
You revamp the entire backfield, and then on your first 4th down, first series, and you're handing it off to fucking Cole Kmet. Right then, I texted Phil. I can look back at the text. I'm like, dude, it's the same thing. They're doing the same shit. And let's not forget what happened the very next week on 4th down. They did it again with Cole.
They didn't even learn from their fucking bullshit play.
And they're paid to do this.
Yeah. It's exactly. They're paid.
Think about this too. And again,
and they sit in their ivory tower with their fucking nose up. You don't know shit about football. We're sitting on this fucking, not you, them. We're sitting on this show saying, why aren't you in the, you got a 240-pound quarterback. Get someone behind him and push just like the Eagle and move the fucking chains.
But you know the problem?
It gets worse, Kenneth. Let me say this.
Go ahead. I apologize.
This is the coaching. This is Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles. Or Kevin Warren has to go to Ryan Poles and say, you fucked up immensely hiring this clown as a coach.
Did he hire him? Did he hire him?
I don't know.
This is the problem. And I'm upset with this because we talked about this on Under Center. And Josh was like, yeah, he has one excuse. He has one excuse. He didn't draft Justin. I said, no, Josh, he has 1.5. Yeah. Because they interview Eberflus before they hired him.
Steve Edwards brought that up on the show.
And so
they're also saying that Polian, when they were doing the coach search, what was also going on at Hallis Hall, Ted Phillips was also doing one separately.
Oh my fucking God. Ted Phillips should be fucking searching his fucking dryer for some spare change. That's it. He doesn't belong anywhere near football or anything. Just fuck. I hate the name. I'm sorry.
I want to say this. I want to say this too. A problem with, and I'm gonna put this more on Ryan Poles.
Okay.
And I'm not. I like Roshan Johnson, and I do want to see him on the football field. But you brought in Dante Foreman, right?
Oh,
and anybody that's like, yo, he's just a battering ram. Dante Foreman has wiggle. He can make the first guy move in a phone booth, right? You brought him in, and you haven't used him in general, but also in short yard situations. And we have to wait until this week. Like, what you let the rookie build and show what he needs to do and earn it. And this is the thing where people are getting at me about the Braxton Jones and not understanding what I'm saying. I like Roshan Johnson. I like Braxton Jones, even though Braxton Jones should be pushed the same way Tevin Jenkins had to be pushed, right? It's not a knock on the player. It's if you want them to be better, if they are, and also depending on pedigree. If they don't even have the pedigree, Roshan Johnson was sitting behind one of the best college running backs of this last generation. And it's not a knock on him. He stayed there where a lot of players perhaps wouldn't have stayed there. But still, it's not like that he was Bijan. And Braxton Jones played at Southern Utah with a lower pedigree. But the point that I'm still making with Ryan Poles, stop effing playing favorites. Prove that your guy is the guy. If you have so much confidence in your guy, let him go out there and show he's the guy.
Even over that, Shane and I think you were going to say this maybe, we were saying Foreman should be starting.
That's what I thought. I drafted him in fantasy, Phil. Think about that. Do you know what I expected? Do you know what I expected when I drafted him in fantasy? Because I'm like, he's gonna play David Montgomery to Khalil Herbert's Khalil Herbert.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right? That's what it should be.
That's the thing, Kenneth, and your point is great. I brought this up a couple of different times, and listen, I'm into the draft and love breaking these guys down and seeing how it all unfolds, but I had to laugh. I've never seen pure elation over a 4th round draft pick like the front office gave when Roshan was drafted. They were calling him.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
Franchise altering character and cornerstone and all this. And I said to Phil, I'm like, the funny part about it is when you start using those words that the word was franchise pillar.
Pillar was the
you had the first pick in round 4. And you traded down 14 spots. So he wasn't worth that much to you because you dropped 14 spots to get him. Now, if I love a guy that much, guess what? I'm just taking
I'm not going to move off of it. I'm not going to risk him being gone.
So you're full of shit.
Right.
I want to get.
And listen, I love Roshan, but let's be honest. Still in concussion protocol, that's a big issue.
One other thing on this point that I want to get Ken fired up for. And I think you're going to get fired up. In all my years of coaching, I've always said on this network and prior to doing it, when I'm breaking down film, your head coach has to be maniacal. He's got to know every blade of grass, every situation. You have to be playing chess. You can't be fucking playing checkers. This weekend, there was coaching negligence all these weeks, right? But none bigger than this weekend. And it happened twice. Once where you're talking about the fucking 3 screens at midfield. But the thing that's even more negligible than the 3 screens is that you have a Division II undrafted football player at quarterback. It's 2nd and 1 at midfield. And you have the audacity to put this young kid with a known issue going on at center throughout the whole fucking game in the shotgun to throw screen balls to get 1 yard. That's number 1 of the biggest negligence, a fireable offense, in my opinion. It's so short-sighted. And then the second one is down 6, driving down the field to possibly win the game with, oh, by the way, the same undrafted young kid, and the clock is running, and you have the audacity, the negligence to call a play and not let the clock go down to 2 minutes and recoup and say, we're going to fucking run this fucking ball down the motherfucking field and then go from there. Nope. Hurry up. Let's run a double fades. And you put this fucking kid in a position to fail because you're a fucking failure and a fraud. There is the mic drop. The offensive coordinator is under the head coach. He let this happen. You don't do that. I can bite on the fucking bone and meat with Justin as the quarterback there that's played in the. This is a rookie undrafted in his first live game, and that's how it ends. And fans, you've pitted them against the kid because he threw an interception. Motherfucker, it's unbelievable.
That was the point, Phil. That was my point when I talked about you didn't get the first down to help this kid to lather up. Common sense. Common sense.
Kenneth, twice.
Yeah. Common sense is give this kid more, but make it easier for him because in his mind he knows, this isn't third. No, right away it's first. We can run it, then we can go to me having to throw this ball again, right? Exactly. Like, no, dog. Wait. The thing was, even going back to the game, I don't know if it's the game before that, going forward on fourth, and this was after the loop-de-loop that Cole Kmet did, and it was like, it's like, what the hell? It was like, dude, it was like, what football? What in the razzle dazzle are you out here trying to do when this is common sense football? All right. And also, this is the thing that made me so mad with this team. Yeah. Why the hell did you bring Mercedes Lewis in here? What was the entire purpose of, if you were thinking we need, dog, that's the only thing he does. He hasn't been catching pass. Oh, and everybody like, well, he caught a pass this year. You know what I mean? He hasn't been a pass catcher since he got drafted, and we were thinking about he was going to be even greater than the type of player he's been.
It's more to your point, Kenneth. You brought him in to be another tackle to help push the edge and run the fucking ball.
I thought we were going to be in 12. I thought we were going to be in 12 a lot more. And I know because of Chase Claypool, you guys wanted to come out there in bunches and BS or whatever. But like you brought in a blocking tight end and a pass catching tight end, right? You paid Cole Kmet. So do you know what that spells to me? 1-2. All right. It spells to me you plan on a lot of times being in 12. All right. That's what, and you hadn't been.
Not last week.
Not last. You did it against the Commanders.
Right. Like what like, dude, do you know your weaknesses? Do you understand your weaknesses? You have a makeshift offensive line. It's been makeshift. It's been makeshift for about 4.5 years, damn near. Forget when these guys, it's been makeshift since 2019. This bad, but it's been makeshift. All right. And you came in this year, you saw what Justin benefited from last year, and decided to go back to what you thought you wanted to try. And the offensive line was already injured again when you started the season off. And you decided to, we're gonna stick to this because we want to do this because this is what I want to do. F what you want to implement. Do what wins football games.
Hey, that's pretty smart. I'll sign up for that. It's not
the simplest thing ever. The simplest part, like that. That's Phil. It's the equivalent of I gotta hit. And again, of course, now with the fact that we have how cars work, and I'm trying to we have fuel injection. Like growing up, when we were younger, I gotta pump the gas 2 times, then flip it. And I got the same car, but all of a sudden this year I just want to flip it. But I know I got to pump the gas 2 times, but forget that. I'm going to do what I want to do. No, you have the same car. You had the exact same car this year, and you're trying to do something different and prove something that you're not even good enough to prove that. Look, and your point was very great, Phil. The head coach still decides what the offensive coordinator does. But getting to Luke Getsy, your shit didn't work last year. It doesn't make sense that we have to redo finding out what we can do when you were supposed to build off of what worked last year and then get the passing game going off of what worked last year. That's what you were supposed to do.
Player. He's just throwing shit up there.
Right. We already knew. First of all, it's not just move the pocket because of Justin and perhaps you only want him to rehab the field. It's move the pocket because your offensive line is trash.
So Justin had 10 pass attempts on Sunday versus Minnesota, and 8 of those were out of 11 personnel. 8 of 10.
Dude, like,
but it doesn't happen anywhere else but Chicago. You know what I mean?
How many of those were play action passes?
I don't think it was enough.
No,
it's not, because
you were actually running the ball.
Exactly. Why isn't it coming off action off that run? You're running the ball. You're gashing him. Oh, by the way, let's bring in Velus Jones, put him in again, and run toss the other way. You know what that is? That's fucking JV play calling. That's just a tell-all. Justin Kirk asks. He wants to know, Kenneth, what would happen if Bagent balls out against Las Vegas and wins?
People are gonna lose. People are gonna too early lose their mind. And again, when I'm saying that, people are gonna say I'm not a Bagent person and I'm a Tyson Bagent person. The Raiders are
just
trash.
Like they always do.
Raiders are again. I hope he does. Don't get it twisted. Right. I hope Tyson Bagent proves to be a prospect because that's something else. That's you want more prospects than not. I'm not rooting against Tyson Bagent, but a lot of people had the Bears winning this game if Justin was healthy. Tyson Bagent does some things right now that Justin doesn't do on a small sample size as far as getting that ball out on the third step. All right. So we'll see. But the thing was also, this is my only thing with this is we were having this discussion today on the Under Center. And Josh was mentioning the lack of tape on Tyson Bagent, which there is. But I brought it to him. I'm sure most teams are going to look at Trevor Siemian tape and try to see if that's what Luke Getsy is going to try to do, having a quarterback that is more of a pocket presence and getting the ball out with rhythm. So we'll see. I mean, I'm going to be honest here. I don't have the Bears winning against the Raiders. I don't have the Bears winning, and people are now taking them. And I'm not rooting against Tyson Bagent. I wanted the Bears to keep Tyson Bagent. I wanted Tyson Bagent to be the second quarterback, like I said at the beginning of this interview, because I didn't want him to get cherry picked being on the practice squad.
We can play our draft coverage. I was the guy beating the desk
to draft him,
to draft the kid in Chicago.
Okay,
he wanted him.
Dope, Shane. Yeah, so it's not a knock, but it's a limit. We have to see how if there is a limitation, because now we're saying that we got Brock Purdy.
Right.
Or
we
don't have Kyle Shanahan. And we don't have Kyle Shanahan.
No, we do not.
Or anything else in San Francisco. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
Yeah. He wants to know if DJ Moore could play a role as Devo. So it's a perfect.
That's what I would try to see if you can do with Velus. I'll tell you. I'll be honest with you. I'd make Velus a running back /
Yes. I thought that last
something.
If you're gonna keep him.
Yeah,
it makes no sense they haven't put him in the backfield more often.
Totally,
because if you're telling us he doesn't have a decent enough route tree, why the hell isn't he back there then?
Put him at tailback, give him a hand. Stop with the
real quick.
Or the
Kenneth seems like he's nice and calm and flatlining a little bit, so I got to fire him up. So they had 6 play action passes last week, Kenneth. How many of them were for Justin out of the 6?
1 or 2.
1. 5 for Bagent.
What sense does that make?
It doesn't make. No, it's malpractice.
Harbaugh vomits in his car, looking at the Bears call plays for Justin Fields.
Shane, okay. Case in point. So you're telling me the less athletic and Bagent. When I'm saying that, Bagent, he has wheels to be a pocket present quarterback, and which a lot of more quarterbacks have now, where they can move out. They may not be burnt.
Is an athlete.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make. That's
Fields is an elite athlete,
but
it's like Claudio, he's sneaky athletic.
The point that I'm trying to make, though, how much more effective? What's up, Claudio? How much more effective is play action, right? Even if, all right, you don't have these fantastic, like just saying Justin may not be. Like you saw the clip this week of Jared Goff, and he got sacked, and it was play action, but he handed it off, but the defender thought he still had the ball, just how well he turned his back and how he executed it, right? Even if you don't think Justin is that. The point that I'm trying to make is this. Justin being a rush threat, wouldn't it make more sense to use more play action? Because one, even if let's just say the defender doesn't bite on the fact that the running back has the ball, the defender's still going to be worrisome if Justin's going to do something with the ball, meaning one of those wide receivers, a better chance of the wide receiver or tight ends to be on single coverage, let alone open. Right. And you're not taking advantage of that. And we're sitting here on this show talking about some stuff where it's like, first do common sense stuff before you try to show me how intelligent you are. That's one of the reasons. I'm not saying he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but one of the reasons I always like Kyle Shanahan is the fact that he wants to make running sexy. And a lot of offensive guys running the ball isn't sexy enough. I got to show you through the air.
I don't know.
Nobody's hating Bagent.
I don't know.
It would be amazing to find out if Tyson Bagent's your franchise quarterback. We could draft Olu and Marvin Harrison Jr. in this upcoming draft, trade Justin Fields for draft capital, $4.99. Listen, we don't know when Justin Fields' timeline is, but nobody here is hating on Tyson Bagent. And I believe
everybody just said we wanted the Bears to keep him on the roster, an undrafted free agent.
We're like infuriated.
I was the dude hitting the table saying
you know how many people were telling me, Roy, do you know how many people were telling me I was stupid and saying like, no, you want Peterman to be here because what happened if Justin goes down early? And I was like, I don't care. I wanted Bagent in there early. So how are we hating on Bagent if we were all like, yo, because Justin was going to go down. Let's all be honest. He was going to go down. And we were like, yo, if Justin goes down, I don't want to see a guy who I know doesn't have a future. I want to see Tyson Bagent. Just because it's not the way that you want it, please listen to the context of what we're saying. Like, we don't all have to be sitting here popping bottles to the Tyson Bagent party, but we're still telling you we're fine and want to see what Tyson Bagent does. Like, sometimes we get in our own silo so hard where it's like, I can't hear what you're saying because a little bit of it is against how I feel. Take how you feel out. And again, you may educate me. I'm not saying that I'm Kenneth and I know or whatever. There's not something I can't glean from someone else. But please listen to the discussion outside of just being like, it's this, it's that, it's that, it's this.
Kenneth is a guy that comes on this show, will go on his show and actually refer to you, not pretend that, hey, my boy Phil said this on the tape. That's the kind of character and class you have. So, and that's how I roll. That's how Shane rolls. We're always doling out credit, but you're also keeping it to your heart. You keep it very like the show. You keep it 100. So I know. Listen, we were all step for step. If Nathan Peterman was the backup and then going in, that's just tomfoolery right there. That's just
why
it doesn't make any sense. We know what it is. We know what
season was over anyway.
Season's over, right? Now there's a little glimmer of excitement of hey, it would be amazing if Tyson goes out there and starts to write his Tony Romo story or his Brock Purdy story. The Bears, as Kenneth has said, we haven't had that shit. We have not had consistency at the quarterback position. And as you said, I thought Justin would hold up a little longer than he did. You said it even in that game. You were like, he ain't going to last this game.
He's taking so many hits.
Yeah.
Again, no, they got one defensive line.
First fucking play, they have the wrong call. Then there's two plays where they slide protect. I've never seen this.
I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
But the offensive lineman picks up the outside guy that's $180, while the running back's got to pick up the 198 or 238 pound, 290 pound defensive end. It's like,
and this is the thing I've been saying
in the NFL.
But Simo is the greatest teacher. The greatest teacher.
His ass out for years.
It's the greatest teacher ever.
I call him
these teachers,
Steve-O, Larry, and Curly. That's what I fucking call him. He's
dude,
he's one of the three stooges.
I would like to come on here and defend people. You know, Phil, me and you will go back and forth. There's nothing to defend. All right. There's nothing from top to bottom here to defend. Right. Like this is ridiculous. Like this it's just that's it. This is ridiculous. I have nothing else to add outside of that part. We should not be having this conversation at this moment.
We have to.
But it shouldn't
Kevin
be like
Warren is watching, and that's where our hope lies.
He better get it. He better. Dude, let me say this too.
Go ahead.
The thing was, I'm sitting here as a Bears fan that loves to see my team on the lakefront. I'm an East Sider, so if anybody that doesn't live in Chicago, Lakeshore Drive, that main road right there, I take that to go get my son. I grew up did most of my life on it. Like Lakeshore Drive is a very beautiful experience here in Chicago, particularly if it's South Lakeshore Drive because it's less traffic before you get to downtown, which having someone from Las Vegas come here. And I remember right when you get to Soldier Field and you see downtown, he was like, do you know how wonderful this is for y'all? And he's like, you take it for granted. I'm like, yeah, I guess I do. For someone like me, who I love my team being there, but we all accepted, okay, they're going to move to Arlington Heights or whatever. And of course they want to go out there as winners. They don't want to move out there where the team is still suspect. They want to go out there where their box office and they're drawing people in and they're getting those boxes filled. Now, initially it's going to happen because it's brand new, but they want it consistently to get back into black as fast as possible, right?
Right.
They didn't expect this, right?
No,
they expected this to be trending up so they could try to move out earlier than possible because they don't want to go out there with a losing team. You think they want to take a losing team out to the suburbs to where we, as Shane said earlier, we're all numb to this damn ish? They don't want to. But it also lets you know how bad they are in understanding what they have going on. And that's, again, the concerning part about this situation. And it's been concerning. Everybody has been here. We could talk about different eras and different things that we've liked, but outside of the 80s, it's been concerning. Yeah. All right, like just in general, it's been extremely concerning. You know what I'm saying? And now I would say it's more of the same. But again, something that Shane said, how did he say it's worse than Trestman? But Virginia ain't never fired two people after 2 seasons. Yeah. And really, it's not even a season. It was a season in like 10 games because we knew Trestman was out after 2 50 burgers, basically, or 40 burgers. Like we knew it was like the word was in. It was like, yo, this definitely can't work. And we're sitting here in a situation where a better team, it's flawed. The team is flawed. They didn't do well with their defensive line. They did not put enough depth behind their offensive line. And people that got mad at me in the offseason for saying that and was like, you don't understand who this person is. And I'm like, dude, you need veteran depth because offensive linemen go down all the time. And everyone's acting like these guys was going to stay healthy. We know they don't stay healthy. And I'm not even talking about on a team like ours. I'm saying in general.
Do you think the Josh Lucas comments play into this? You know, he made the comment on with Hogan Johns, like, yeah, the Bears absolutely improved the talent for Justin, but he's like, they also didn't go above and beyond and all in and say, that's our dude, we're doing
They didn't
everything. He said there's a whole bunch of gray area there, and he goes, that is concerning because why? He's not the guy that they brought in.
It was still to make sure. Let's be honest. This year was set up that if Justin failed, they were going to make it so there's no excuse to where we can be like, oh, you moved off of Justin, but Justin this. It was, okay, he started playing well enough. I'm going to give him Chase Claypool, even though Tomlin doesn't want him. And he kept up with AB. You know how much mess they keep up with in Green Bay and keep it in-house? And they jettisoned Chase Claypool before his rookie deal was even up. But still, the point was, all right, Justin's playing well. I'm going to give him this receiver to see if he can play even better. Then it's, okay, this receiver didn't work, and then you blew the top pick in the second round, right? I'm going to give him DJ Moore. And then, see, this is where things really got messed up because – and I'm with bringing DJ Moore in. Even though I don't think it was the haul, everybody said, like, man, they got a haul. It was good. I'm not saying it wasn't good, But a haul, when you tell me a haul, we eating forever. I mean, again, people are like, Ken, you can't. You know what I mean? All right. I'm talking about firsts and firsts. All right, like a haul, right? Because that was the least player that they wanted to give up in Carolina. All right. They were like, nah, we keeping him and him. You can have him. All right. But you did that. But to your point, Shane, they left themselves out to having 2 first-round picks in this draft. You could probably move up. And that's why they like. I mean, again, you should still have gotten another first-round pick. But of course, and also, and I will hope, I'm be honest, I will hope Ryan Poles was also smart enough to look at the type of quarterbacks that are coming out this year, because it's better than last year's quarterback. If we're being honest, if you're talking about Caleb, you're talking about May, you're talking about, and I mean, again, his is lower, but nobody knew Shador was going to be there. Nobody knew if Penix Jr., nobody knew if you're putting Bo Nix in some type of area. If you're looking at Ewers down in Texas, you know, a lot of these guys, we were waiting to see how they came out this year or whatever. Right. But if you look at it compared to the last 2 years, because if you go back to like the Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis year, where I don't know what anybody was doing drafting quarterbacks that year, particularly in the first round, talking about Kenny Pickett. I'm not dissing Kenny Pickett, but he just wouldn't have been my guy. But then you look at last year and you had questions on all the quarterbacks because Bryce Young was small. You look at Ohio State quarterbacks and CJ Stroud didn't show mobility really until that Georgia game in the playoffs. You look at where you had Anthony Richardson only played 14 games, didn't show us from the pocket. You had the kid down there from Levis. Yeah, Levis being a physical freak, but still being questions about him or whatever. It wasn't what this year may end up being. So props for that. But still, yeah, I'm with it. But then I'll say this too. Would it be wrong to leave yourself? Because you did still help Justin, but to leave yourself a little leeway to get out, because hypothetically say
that day you were like, right, this is the smart move because you're protecting yourself.
It's the best of both worlds. If he works out, you can draft an offensive lineman, a pass rusher, wide receiver, whatever you want to do. But yeah, it's the best of both worlds, 100%.
You get the best of both worlds.
I don't know about that.
Hey guys. $9.99 Grant Katz. Hey guys, big fan. My biggest worry is that I don't even trust this organization to do anything with an actual franchise QB. We would just become the Chargers, Rivers, Herbert, wasting their talent. That's what I feel. Coaching staff. That's
what I mean. But that's what I mean about May. And I was going to mention Rivers earlier. I feel like I'm going to tell you this too. I talked to Sean Merriman a couple weeks ago, and people kind of forget that.
What was his nickname again?
Lights. I made him do lights. I made him do lights out. He did lights out for me. I was like, yo, you can't leave here. You got to do lights out or whatever. He did it. He did lights out. But the thing was, and the reason I'm bringing it up is because like Phillip Rivers and where Phillip Rivers is and held as far as, he like this. People forget they were knocking the Colts out in Peyton Manning's prime. And if Sean Merriman was healthy and there was other stuff, but most players do whatever he was doing. But remember where Sean Merriman was, and when they was really start to peak, that's when the defense wasn't the same defense, because he was dynamic those first 3 years, right? And Phillip Rivers was knocking Peyton Manning out like it was nothing. They had LaDainian Tomlinson in the backfield,
right?
But you end up in a situation where
Gates.
Exactly. But coaching wise, Marty, where there's a limit to where that coach can necessarily get you, and then injuries happen, and the windows can shut so quick. And then a player who may have won a title at Phillip Rivers, where his draft class with Eli and Ben Roethlisberger, he would be held in a higher accord. You know what I'm saying? He's not, because, and it's not necessarily on him. Not saying there wasn't a time that Phillip Rivers lost them the game in the playoffs, but we forget that Phillip Rivers was a sick man at certain periods of time.
With a fucking torn ACL. He was still out there.
Right. But so, and that's my fear.
I hated Phillip Rivers, but I loved him at the same time because I respected him.
You respected him.
I wanted that kind of guy for our team. Guy.
So my fear and that's why when people talk about the Drake May thing, is I think Drake May could be good enough to be these excellent quarterbacks, But the Bears are so bad, they may need somebody that can even be better than that because that's how bad they are.
They have to find someone that can overcome the
exactly, and that's the thing. So it's not I dislike him, but it's like, you know what? We mess up everything. We're bad in relationships, right? I need someone that can withstand this mess that I got going on because I'm just a mess. You know what I'm saying? And
it's the only hope at this point. Because just to your point,
well,
it's
that's
like
what's all it's falling on his plate. It's
all on him now because Ryan Poles has given us, despite it could have, but Polian, Trace Armstrong, yes, but Poles stood at the fucking podium and said, "I chose him. I chose him." So that's on you now. No matter what, it's on you now. The trust factor, because if Harbaugh. For me, Harbaugh fixes this. I know it. I know it in my heart. He could take what you said, Justin Fields, put the offense together. But if Ryan Poles comes in here and says, Jim Harbaugh comes in here and says, Ryan Poles is fucking out, then he's out. Without a doubt. McCaskey's got to sit the fuck back and collect their check and shut up. That's the kind of stuff we need here. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
But just real quick.
I love Kyle Ware. Go ahead, guys. I'm sorry,
Kenneth. So if right now, if the season ended and the Bears have the number 1 pick, if it's their pick or Carolina's, you drafting Caleb? Well, because while you're having that fight, and
listen, you guys. Yes. I can't lie to you all. I would love for Justin to be the Phoenix and rise from the ashes and disprove, and regardless of his window fitting financially, what we need to do, because he like the thing what Justin has done for me is like, damn, you've been through all the Chicago bullshit and you're actually going to come through and be dope. So it would be nice, but one, it's a risk in that the window has closed on his contract basically. And let me say this too. My affinity for Justin, I'll be really interested in what his agent is trying to get contractually, because you can't go over these guys that just got paid.
He's not taking less than Daniel Jones got.
So I'm not mad. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't be mad at a somewhat deal in that nature, even though just finding out that Daniel Jones, for the Giants to get rid of him, is like a $70 million dead cap hit, which is crazy. I know next year, well, after next season, I should say, then it's not as punitive for them. But still, like, I think now you have to do what's best for the organization. Getting back to the Larry Ogunjobi, and this is an apples to orange comparison.
I forgot about that.
But you have to, if Ryan Poles is talking about protecting the organization and his team, you have to now, and you have to go to a quarterback who, if we're really being honest, to a degree, college-wise, Caleb is better than what Justin was.
Without a doubt.
If we're being on, now I'm not fit as a physical specimen. No, he's not. He's not bad though. You know what I'm saying? Because he's very mobile. You saw it. But if we're being honest, there's outside again, like I say, and people said it, he does hold on to the ball, but also he's in college. He gets away with playing hero ball more. There are some Jay Cutler-esque things with his feet. And what I mean with that is, at some point, you can't count on that arm to do it all. You got to do it from the tucker up. You know what I'm saying? Where Caleb right now can spin it with the best of them. And some years when those windows start getting tighter because that arm strength isn't exactly what it is, and plus DBs start getting faster, you need to fundamentally be that better player as far as having your foot in better positions when not under duress. But if we're being honest, I mean, you got to go with him. And I mean, I hate saying it, but it's the truth.
So the Bears passed on Dan Marino,
which is stupid.
There you go.
And think about that. Think about what they would have been with that in the 80s.
Holy fuck.
That's three Super Bowls right there.
Without a doubt.
That's 3 Super Bowls.
He's a boss. that overcomes everything.
So
And then there you go. Go
if
ahead.
you go back to I had brought up Rick Spielman, and he's on the podcast, The First Pick, and they, they're covering the draft all year long. It's a great pod to listen to.
Okay.
They put him up, and they went through. They started in 2023, and they said, "All right, you have the first pick. He's Caleb Williams." And they said, "All right, but you're getting a bunch of phone. Don't care. I'm hanging up every phone call." Caleb, and then he doubled down today on it, even after the note, because everybody's been melting down over the note.
Oh yeah.
Don't care. Well, so then they went to the 2022 draft. Who you taking up? Caleb Williams. 2021 draft. Caleb Williams over Trevor Lawrence. Caleb Williams. 2020. Caleb Williams. Joe Burrow draft. Are you taking Caleb Williams over Joe Burrow? Taking Caleb Williams. He went all the way 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, got to 2012. Andrew Luck. And he goes, well, that is what we like to call a complete toss-up. He said, if there was a gun to my head and I had no time left, I would probably put in the card for Andrew Luck, only because he's more developed as a passer than Caleb is right now.
And bigger.
And he went back. Then they asked him, 1998. That's Peyton Manning.
I know what you're talking about.
He's Caleb Williams.
I mean,
That's
I think
he
it's
is with it.
I mean, listen, they're going to be warts.
Same thing.
Go ahead.
15. Go ahead. I did say the same thing.
It was Rick Spielman.
I said the last 15 years, I've not seen a quarterback like this. And when you look at, I'm not that guy that gets fooled by a game. You just have to look at the whole thing.
In college too.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that defense sucks.
All of those people that are worried about that would have signed Mitch to a franchise-altering deal after the Tampa game.
Exactly. Like
exactly.
No. Yeah, it's still sad, that we're still at this point, but it's a smarter decision to make. And it doesn't mean we hate Justin. Like I say, I want the best for Justin. I want Justin to get out of here. And also, I want to help the Bears. Like, I was looking at it as this. If Justin can play well, it raises his value, and you get to the point where, because every team can't be at the top of this upcoming draft.
Atlanta's knocking on that door.
Yeah, and he should go.
Seattle's knocking on that door.
Right, and so take advantage of that and let him go to competent franchises. We can actually see what Arthur Smith can do with the competent quarterback. Because if the only person he's had in the pros is Ryan Tannehill when he was offensive coordinator in Tennessee. Even though I really don't like some of the things they did last year, and when it comes to the Falcons, where Kyle Pitts, and it was very questionable. But still, you look at the weapons that they have in Atlanta. They have the whip on offense in Atlanta, and their defense has improved. That's crazy. That's crazy.
If you ever do this, Frank Hacks, Taysom Hill type QB, running back QB.
He wouldn't do it. And do you know the difference in the type of money that Taysom Hill gets and starting quarterbacks get in the NFL? And there's other teams out there that want you to be their starting quarterback. Why would you sit there and also get hurt more by doing something like, and Taysom Hill in college and even in the pros was never the quarterback that Justin Fields was.
Hell,
like the problem with Justin Fields.
One thing Taysom Hill has done at quarterback that I'm like, oh, he's a quarterback.
Oh yeah, he's a quarterback. Thank you. He's a quarterback. So no, and I'm just not a diss to the person that wrote that, but no, why would Justin himself, his family, his team, his agent be like, yo, I want to take less money and get beat up more when he at least gets 1.5 more bites at the apple to be a starting quarterback in the NFL? Like, no, he's like that. No, and again, it's just messed up. It didn't work here. It's just messed up.
How many weeks do you think he's out with this injury?
4.
I know. Flu
I was going to say 4.
You say 4?
I wonder if he's going to push it. I wonder if he.
Why would you?
Agent,
Kenneth,
you're
his agent, and
that's what we talked about today, Shane.
then
We
1 and
talked-
6, then 1 and listen,
Spit
I'm as
out.
competitive as anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same fucking time,
With this
this
coach,
is also a business, a
Right.
multi-billion-dollar business.
You speak that science, Shane.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm saying I wonder what he would want, but if I'm his agent, I'm definitely like, don't come back to this mess.
You think he's like, I gotta get back in there for get back in there for Flus and for
No.
Getsy? No.
No, you know what? I'm gonna be no, but I
His
think
guys, yes.
that's what he would want to do it
Yep.
for his guys. I think that's why he would want to do. I think that has a lot to do with what he wants to do because he knows those are not his guys. They have not set him up. They have not been advantageous to his future. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of this is I'm the QB, I'm the leader, and I think I don't think it's BS how he because a lot of
called them out. Then
right, a lot of
retract it.
Right. A lot of QBs take it like, oh, I'm the QB, so I'm the guy regardless. I think Justin takes it like any QB. Yeah, I'm the guy, but no, I want to be that man for y'all. I want to lead y'all. I want to be that. Again, he does have some issues himself, but if we're being honest, more of this is on the Bears being the Bears because they never set him up for where we can consistently see.
He's not the number one problem here, Kenneth, and it's not to me. It's not even close. But unfortunately, you're at the spot in the way that the NFL works with him going to be going into year 4 next year, and you're still going to have unanswered questions. And if you believe in this quarterback class that's coming out,
I got a question, and I seen it in chat. I got a question for y'all. This is my only question for y'all. So let's just hypothetically say, the Bears get Caleb Williams or Drake May, but let's just go with Caleb Williams. So let's just say you have the 3rd overall pick or whatever. So you stay in there and you taking Marvin Harrison Jr.?
My phone lines are open, but I don't know how. Listen, I'm with Lance Briggs in this. Lance Briggs isn't going to draft. Lance Briggs said he's sticking with Justin no matter what. He's using both the picks, offensive line,
and Marvin Harrison Jr.
to get horses up front.
Okay, I'm sorry.
If you have Fashanu sitting there staring you in the fucking face, and you can have your bookends for the next 12 years on your offensive line, can I understand the glitz and the glamour that comes with Marvin Harrison. That's great. Everybody loves having a great wide receiver on Madden, and I'd love DJ Moore and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta listen. My son's gonna be 16 in 3 years, a little over 3 years. I ain't buying him a fucking Lambo to drive. You know what I mean?
How dare you not buy him a Lambo?
I'm just saying, are we not living this right now with the offensive line, and you want to address it with a wide receiver? I love Marvin Harrison. Listen, if he's far and away the best player on your board, I think your phone lines have. That's why I'm hoping that if they're gonna fucking bottom out, then they bottom out and they get number 1 and number 2, because then at number 2 you have the big neon sign saying, "Who wants to come get Drake May?"
Drake May.
And when Arizona calls me, I say, guess what? All calls start with both your first rounders this year, your first rounder next year. Oh, guess what? You know what else you're going to send me?
Your second rounder.
If you want your quarterback, I want Paris Johnson Jr. back. Ooh. You don't want your quarterback? You're not going to give him up because guess what? You're not going to get your quarterback. I'm going to be that asshole. I'm going to hold Drake May there. You have to be a fucking assassin. And that is what I am not sure that Ryan Poles is. Maybe that.
Oh, yeah, Shane. That BS about not being too greedy.
Guess what? Oh, they're not going to give up Paris Johnson. You're not going to give him up. You're not getting your quarterback.
I'm with you.
And
I think
that's the way that you have to be.
Again, listen. And this is what my guys came back with me yesterday in this discussion, and Alex and Josh. I think it was Alex. I can't remember, but one of them was like, "Look at what Jamar Chase was with Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow didn't have an offensive line." I was like, "That's a great point." But we're sitting here. We know we need a tackle. All right, you know you need a tackle, and you need a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
And like so at one point, and it sounds sweet to be like, yo, Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison. So the defense is going to continue to suck. And again, what I'll say this: Washington can't keep everybody because they paid Deron Payne. But then
I think that's going to be their move, Kenneth.
But see, the problem with that, Shane, is
injury.
Sweat. That's where I was going, because you're going to be young, and of course, Young is going to ball out this year because he's trying to get back out on the market. But when that knee pops back up in 2 years,
let me ask you this: they're going to pay Montez Sweat, so this is the role that I love to play. Phil is the coach. I don't want to coach. I'm the GM.
Me too.
So I'm Ryan Poles, and I'm calling Washington, and I'm going to say, you're paying Sweat. You have a bunch of money invested into your defensive line already. You need another cornerback. And I have Jalen Johnson sitting here. I'm going to send you Jalen Johnson. You're going to send me Chase Young. They're both free agents. I'm going to pay him. You're going to pay Jalen and Montez Sweat.
They're going to want more.
Oh.
I'm not against it. I will make the deal.
That's when you have to say, all right, well, then you're going to lose them for nothing.
I will make the deal.
They're not paying Young and Sweat.
I would make, but the fear would be who they may trade Young to outside of us.
Oh, sure.
But I'm with you.
But who's trading him a 24-year-old cornerback?
I'm moving off of Jalen Johnson at that point. And also where you're at right now, and I'm not Phil. Exactly. So you got that part. So I'm saying I'm not Phil, but there is, when you're rebuilding right now, and like we had this discussion on the show, and everybody's like, yo, he's good or whatever. This rebuild is slower than what you expected.
Yeah.
So now and one thing you've showed us you can do is draft DBs. So
what has Jalen Johnson done?
He plays decent enough.
He played decent.
They draft.
He played, and I mean decent. I mean good, Phil. I mean he's a pretty
here and say that they're saying that Justin's not our guy, and not say the same thing about Jalen. Jalen's not their guy either, and they drafted all these DBs for a reason.
Terrell Smith,
a reason.
Tyler Gordon.
No, I'm making. But I don't think they're not re-signing him. I mean, and he came out today and said he can see the future to a degree as far as where this team is at right now. But yeah, if you could pull that off. But see, my only problem with that, and you already know, is now we're bringing in a beat up player who, if we're being honest and we know sports, that knee is going to be a problem. How long it kept him out. And I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. I'm just saying, like, but you're making a deal with the devil that you have to know that the devil's going to come to pay in the near future. But that's what you have to do. But again,
you also have 10, 11 weeks to get him in your system.
Right. Yeah.
Check everything out.
I think it's house money because
go ahead, Phil.
Jalen is what he is. And you need an edge presence.
You need a disruptor in the middle.
Exactly.
All right. You need and regardless of whatever we're playing, you need somebody who's collapsing the pocket on the direct line, which is the fastest way to do anything in this world, right? But the whole point of the conversation and why I asked you guys was everyone's negating the trenches, and one thing that we talk here is real football. We can be as creative as we want to. We can be as air raidy as whatever we want to be, or whatever in the numbers, or whatever the hell we're doing. But still, if you're not winning in the trenches, you're not really winning no title.
These guys have struggled with the center position for 27 seasons.
I think we're all in agreement here, and I know that half of the chat is melting down because of we said to potentially pass on Marvin Harrison Jr. and you can't pass on a Hall of Famer. Well, pump the fucking brakes on Hall of Fame. Let's just be a really good NFL wide receiver first. But all these guys, just listen, he's a fantastic prospect. There's nothing etched in stone. Look at Detroit years ago. Charles Rogers. He's the next Mike Williams. He's the next Williams. Then they figured it out with Calvin Johnson.
Finally,
third time. It's a charm. Maybe
how many Super Bowls? How many Super Bowls did Randy Moss and Terrell Owens win?
Yeah, exactly.
You know how many Super Bowls did Chad? Do you? And again, this is the thing I used to say to people, and it's changed over the last 4 or 5 years. How many Super Bowls did at that moment the best receiver in the NFL win over the last 25 years? And if you go look at those Super Bowl victories, majority of them did not have a top 5 wide receiver.
Jerry Rice.
I was going to say, Phil, Jerry Rice, Tyreek. Now, and before, when he was winning it, we didn't look at Tyreek Hill as being, he was growing into being one of the better receivers.
Right.
But
you couldn't
how
say
many
he was at that time.
Yeah, he was a return guy that was transitioning. He was a speed guy,
Right.
and now he's more well-rounded. But how many Super Bowls? And like you said, like now we see guys going deeper in the playoffs, like Jamar and like Burrow, like Diggs and like Josh Allen. But how many Super Bowls have been won by having one of the top receivers on your roster?
Do you know how many rings
and
Kirk
some people
Cousins has on his hand?
I like that one. I was gonna say Cup. I forgot Cup.
Cooper
and
Kupp,
again, Marvin Harrison ain't won a Super Bowl since 95, 98. I mean, not Marvin Harrison, Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin ain't won a Super Bowl since we was dating when Irvin was winning Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? I said Tyreek Hill. I'm again, everybody
Nokia flip phone then.
Right. They still think about what I'm just saying. Some people say Justin Jefferson ain't been to a Super Bowl. The point is, and I wouldn't be mad if the Bears drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. I would just hope, and at this point, we don't think management is smart enough to be able to find the trench players without having the prerequisite draft capital to get them at the front of the draft. If we believed that they could scout and find them, we'd all be like, yo, do it, because we know these guys can find trench guys. This is what they do. That's not what they do.
They haven't done it. Let's knock these out. We're talking about a show, one of the best shows, I think, in a long time, just hammering out facts, dropping mics, then picking the mic back up only to slam it again with Kenneth Davis here from the Under Center podcast all night, talking about the Bears. More analogies on this show than traffic in LA. Junior ain't going. $5. Can we really trust the Bears to draft Williams and Harrison Jr.? I truly believe the Bears are going to do a pinky in the brain move and do something else. Well, Kenneth was plotting here. Shane and Kenneth are looking at linemen. Hold Drake May, draft Caleb, trade back, pick up 3 linemen. How about a center? How about a center for once? For God's
I still
sake?
can't believe that
At this point, Shane, at this effing point, that you haven't addressed the guy directly snapping the ball, the guy directly to be the stout guy right in front of the QB, talking about 3 technique and direct line.
Exactly.
You still out here, dog,
Lucas
talking to
Patrick.
people. So
it's like,
dude, so I said this last year in August when Josh Schrock joined our show, coming from the Bay Area. I said, listen, people are talking about this Lucas Patrick, Cody Whitehair shit like it's legit. I said, one, how do we know Cody hasn't hit the wall? That he's long in the tooth. And we all know with sports, it's just that year. I said that to him, and I said, Lucas Patrick has been a backup. We're saying that he's going to come here and for 17 games be a stalwart, and both were messed up. And then again, this offseason, I'm talking to him, I said, and you guys know him, and everybody here knows. So I'm not saying this like I'm Nostradamus or anything. I said that exchange is going to be something, and he finally he's seen it. But then last week was like, you see what I was talking about with Cody and that shotgun,
exactly.
Where you already, dude. It's great that Justin's an athlete, but then you throw Bajan out there, a young guy that hasn't even had any time with balls gumming and jumping and doing all of this.
Jumping in the air.
And you didn't go out this year and just say, you know what? I'm putting Cody at guard. I'm gonna go get a center. I'm gonna pay somebody, or I'm gonna trade for. And do you know how much more that would have alleviated everything? Because that position would have been set. Then you have Cody, just if we're talking about depth, you got Cody, Tevin, whatever you're doing with Borum, but still, you're now these guys are knocked down a knock, and you're not trying to put Lucas Patrick. We all knew the news on. We know, like we saw Lucas Patrick can't play
in the street.
That's what I said.
Guard,
Kenneth,
Magic
during
trick
cut
in the
downs, I
street,
said
yeah.
to Phil, I said, if I'm the GM and I'm the Bears, I don't need a 30 or a 31-year-old journeyman offensive lineman that's you can essentially tell is washed, because they're leaders in the locker room. Well, then that means I'm not doing my job. If I need to rely on those guys, I would much rather gamble on the upside of a guy like Dieter Iselin that was on our roster than gamble on Lucas Patrick staying healthy or Cody Whitehair being functional at center. Where's the downside? You're 1-5. You know what I mean? John Michael Schmitz was staring you in the face on draft day. And I said to myself, holy shit, this worked out for the Bears. Now they have their center. They just drafted their right tackle. This is so anti-Bears. And then, boom, they made the pick.
Trevon Dexter, for God's sake. I died.
No, I mean, no, dude, this after last season, this should have been remedied in free agents. I'm gonna tell you a couple of things that's kind of surprised me. You should have brought in 2 veteran offensive linemen, either through trade or through free agency. Now, the center could have been through trade because nobody wants to give him up, so you have to entice the team to get it. You should have had a swing tackle here. If you didn't believe in Larry Borum, so why don't you have a swing tackle? Right. For instance, I said today we talked to Benny Bond Sr. And one of the questions I asked him was like, what did you guys think when the Bears signed? And for anybody that doesn't know, he covers the Raiders. I said, what did you think when the Bears picked up the waiver on Alex Leatherwood? And he was basically like, huh? Because we knew he was not that dude, basically. And then he said the Raiders were happy because if you all can remember, they picked him off of waivers, so they had to continue to pay him his rookie deal, and the Raiders didn't have to pay him his rookie deal.
Yeah, relieve them. I would have done that. I would have made the same.
I had no problem.
Just because you had $100 million in space, and you're just seeing who he is.
Shane, but the point that I'm getting to, right? I'm with you, but these guys, unlike you and I, are supposed to know better.
Oh yeah. Totally agree.
You're supposed like you and I, it makes sense, but they're supposed to look at the tape, look at where he came from, the pedigree, look at the Raiders needing him, right? It wasn't, and look at his failure and try to really analyze it and feel out if it's worth picking up on the waiver, or seeing if he falls through the waivers and you can get him, because who knows if anybody else would have picked him up. Now, again, I'm on the outside looking in. They could have had information that someone else was going to pick him up. But the point still that I'm making is they failed again in their evaluation. And this gets back to my point of this was supposed to be their expertise when it comes to Ian Cunningham and Ryan Poles, offensive linemen. This was supposed to be y'all bag.
That's their layup every time they get talked
your
about.
bunny. That's your bunny.
Yeah,
and you haven't kicked out and shown us you can do your bunny yet. Dog, you know what they good at? DBs. That's not your bunny. Right? That's not
fucking Easter bunny over here.
So that's where it gets maddening on where, so even like when you're talking about like Dieter and Doug and all, I can't even believe in that because you guys really haven't shown that you're picking these guys and like, yo, I do this. Like, and again, I like Braxton Jones' character. I think Braxton Jones can be a capable NFL player. I think they put him in an adverse situation. Yeah. But outside of him, the rest of these guys that y'all, like, if they were good, y'all don't even play them. Let us know that y'all don't really believe in them. Right? Like if y'all really, and we know you will force Eberflus to put somebody out there, basically. Right?
Tyree Carter.
Right.
That kid.
Again, it's not a knock on Roshan.
Darnell Wright, though, is legit.
He's legit. He's legit. I'm not saying, and he deserves, from his pedigree, he deserves the chance to fail. All right.
Right.
If you look at it. Being an SEC kid, a lot of other teams would have
bodies.
A lot of other teams would have. He's having mental connections because he's a young. He's a young. Yeah, and he's
vortex here. The CMO vortex.
It's just still like the failures at things that we were supposed to trust this is your bag.
This
is where it gets to where it's like, nah, like that's where it's like this, everything is questionable. And it's so systemic with the Bears because this is just how it always goes. Yeah. And that's always the bad part about this situation. It's just
anything goes when it comes to hoes because pimping ain't easy, Poles. I don't think he's getting it. He ain't getting it there. I think Fields has PTSD at this point. 3 years of this with 2 trash regimes has possibly ruined his ability to function under pressure. Yes, we talked about that. That's where we are now. And at the crossroads of whether or not he comes back or his agent advises him, you know what, stay the fuck out and just get your thumb healthy and allow this shit show to get out of there. That could be the case too here. Even in the doldrums of the season, I think there is things that we can see and analyze, obviously led by Bajent going forward and Darnell Wright and DJ Moore. How do they play? Dwight, $4.99. I would love Fashanu, the Penn State, and Van Pran from Georgia. He's giving you 2 offensive linemen there. Jim Larison has a quote. What does KD think of JJ McCarthy, quarterback, Michigan, local Nas kid?
Jim, how you gonna hit me with the white though? Jim?
Is he? He has to throw the joke.
I would say it's the thing would be verticality. With JJ.
Yeah.
Again, that's not to say that he may not be. One thing I'll say, this is twofold. This isn't. I'm not just doing this to placate. Quarterback NFL now, quarterbacks with decent arms, and we've seen this with Tom Brady. And I'm not talking about Brady's greatness. I'm just talking about strength and conditioning. Quarterbacks' arms do get better the last 15 to 20 years in the pros. But to get to your point, it's the verticality that I would kind of be a little bit. That's my apprehensive. You're talking about right now, and again, they'll be in the dome probably moving forward. But you're talking about outside in the wind on the lakefront in the wintertime, and it would be the verticality. Like, I mean, one thing that I feel like, and again, this could just be me being, you desire something. And I said this talking about Dave Wanstead. So Dave Wanstead got on me one day because I got on him about Steve Walsh. And I was like, dude, why didn't y'all have Kramer in there, man? Because Steve Walsh and that little popcorn arm. Steve Walsh, he won me down there in Miami. Shout out to Wani. But
that's a good impression of him, man.
But the thing was, and even back then, and mind you, I was younger, and it's just, but even back then, it wasn't as important as it is now. Verticality is uber important. That's like when I was talking earlier about Penn State and Drew Aller. And the reason it's really going to hold Penn State back this year is they're not, one, he doesn't have the pass catchers. Let me say that because I'm a huge Drew Aller guy, but also the verticality. Like, you have to be able to get those safeties to go back, like, period. You have to be able to be like, yo, we worried about this backside, and it opens everything up in the intermediate and the run game. And if you got a guy where you're like, we can sit on this up front, it's a problem. And it's specific, really, to get down to Jim's question, specifically with a team that doesn't know how to develop anybody. The problem, and that's why I'll say this, that's why we keep talking about Caleb, is because the fear of, we bring Drake May in here and he's just retains being Drake May, where Caleb, because he's already shown us that he has some specialness, may be able to do that to overcome the BS that we have going on here. Forget who's the coach, forget who's the GM. It's here in this, it's permeated within this organization. Like, so that's the thing where when you're talking about quarterbacks, where there's already a question, but I will go back to this for Jim. And I said this at the beginning of this. I have never seen a great Bears quarterback in my life. So what the hell does any of us know? Because when it comes to our favorite team, so even to be honest with you, be a situation where it could be a Washington Commanders situation where you take a quarterback in the first round and you take Kirk Cousins in the 4th or 5th or wherever they took Kirk Cousins. Exactly. And it proves out, so I'm not saying that that's stupid or anything, but if we're just talking about, again, you're not taking JJ McCarthy in the first round. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like you're not. And we're talking. So that's the conversation. We're talking about who would you take if you had the first pick, but preferably who would you take in the first round?
Breaking it down with Kenneth Davis. We're almost 3 hours into this show. Kenneth, which one has the most hope that it might get better? Sox or Bears? He wanted to know. I wanted to make Bears. Okay.
Because it's parity. The NFL, parity within the NFL, even with bad organization. Dog, the Bengals made it to the Super Bowl.
Yes,
you know what
did.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like for real, and could have and look at
won.
what they. Yes, so the parity in the NFL allows you.
Falcons were up on the fucking Patriots.
Don't get me talking about that because I was talking so much shit. I was talking so much shit at that party. Oh man, I was talking crazy, man. I was talking, and then oh my god, man, Kyle Shanahan, you messed me over that day. But with Sarkisian, who was the offensive coordinator? It was Kyle, wasn't it? That part was Steve Sarkisian.
It was Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, it was Kyle, yeah, and you just didn't run the ball. Right, all you had to do was run the day. You didn't want him to be
the dude from the Seahawks.
That's where I was going. All these teams want to dictate who the MVP of the Super Bowl is. Dog, win the fucking MVP.
Just win it.
I mean, win the Super Bowl. Win the Super Bowl first. Don't worry about that. All right, win the damn Super Bowl. But yeah, it's not a knock on any of these quarterbacks. It's just we're so bad. We need somebody who seems like they can overcome this type of bad.
Listen, you said it all tonight. You've been so generous with your time here talking.
I've enjoyed myself with you guys tonight.
I honestly,
this might have been one of our better ones, and I've had some fun with y'all.
This is the therapy session tonight.
Oh, it is. As much as they drive me crazy, it's always therapeutic when you talk about it and get you guys.
We all like unraveled it. It was like Christmas morning, and you got a bunch of really good gifts, but
don't you
weren't
feel like this is what they need?
Yeah, they need us.
They need this shit right here.
Yeah.
Say no, Ryan, shut the fuck up and don't analyze every word coming out of your mouth at your pressers. I said to Phil, I feel more at ease with Ian Cunningham when he's up at these pressers. I feel like he's more in control. Ryan Poles seems very nervous and out of place, and Cunningham's in there. He's got his hat on, he's got it cocked and locked, and he's just like, this is just who says he's not? Who? I said to Phil,
could be the answer.
Kevin Warren,
right in your house.
I think you have to interview him if you launch these guys. That's another.
I don't have no. I mean, you got to do whatever you have to do.
Damn right.
Everyone is being reevaluated. No one has done what they were supposed to do at all. It's been a failure. Yep. And you could sit here and tell me, because Alex and I got into a debate. Yeah, last year was supposed to be a wash, but you were not supposed to end up with the first pick in the draft even last year.
Yeah, but you ended up washing yourself with shit.
Right.
And now you have to try to use soap this year.
Right. But Shane, the thing is, again, if last year you weren't supposed to end up with the number one pick, this year your pick damn sure wasn't supposed to be the number one pick. So and that gets back to your Trestman thing earlier, where it's like, wait, it's not supposed to be like this.
Trestman was like a level. You would like dictate the lowest of levels was Trestman, right?
Right.
We've beaten that. We're like in the doldrums of hell, football hell.
But let's not forget, we thought Trestman had that all. We knew the defense, and they were taking money away from the defense at that point. But we thought that offense, and it wasn't the same because Justin was using the run. We thought the offense was going to continue to excel moving forward, even better than what last year's offense was. Right?
Oh yeah, this year you mean? Yes. I thought you were talking about back then. There was a glimmer with Alshon.
No, that's what I'm saying. There was Martellus. You got to think about. I mean, they had some weapons.
Chargers game.
They had some weapons on that.
Cutler
offense.
gets hurt in that Chargers game. Yeah. I think we're going to the fucking Super Bowl. I really did. That was that year under Trestman, and then it just fell apart. It fell apart. Was that Trestman, right? Was that Trestman?
Yeah, because Trestman came 2013, right? Yeah, they fired Lovey 2012. Trestman came in So who
That was
there?
that season, right? When Jay Cutler gets hurt trying to make a tackle on a pick with Johnny Knox.
That was 2011. No. That was Lovey. I think the Bears win the fucking Super Bowl that year, by the way.
Yeah, that was what I was talking
They
about.
were rolling. They were 7-3, and they were heading into the AFC West.
Yes.
And the AFC West that year was trash. It was awful. So then you essentially had 3 more wins. They were rolling, and Jay tried to.
Thank you.
That was
Anthony.
Johnny Knox's fault because Johnny Knox quit running his slant.
Fucking rounded his pattern.
Yeah.
I hate when receivers do that.
Round their pattern. I hate.
Just break to the football, bro. Break.
What's a slant pass? I'd love to see a few of those here.
Imagine.
Dude, really? Are you serious? They do that? They do that?
Yeah,
they do that. That's why I heard they're going to do this. So that's what I heard this week. Like they're going to run a lot of slants. And I was like, so they're going to do slants now.
Yeah.
With all these small receivers that should be able to get the advantage on the inside. Now we're going to run slants when you got these quick.
This is what they game plan publicly because they think they can fool you. Even Lovey used to. Do you remember Lovey? Oh, we're going to get off the bus.
What's the bus running
the football. Come on, big guy. You remember that? And then you go out there and they throw the ball 48 times.
Exactly.
Are slants legal?
Yeah.
Never.
Not in Chicago.
Chicago.
Who was the receiver we picked up from the Giants for a minute? He runs a slant, we score, and then he gets hurt. And I'm like, that's it. The end of the slant. The end of the slant. It could be a 30 for 30 in and above itself. Anyway. Fuck. We've done it all, Kenneth. I think we hit all. One last. Kerry Franklin, $20. Is TTNL coming to a game? He's going to the Raidettes game this week, and we'll go to one more this year when TTNL.
We'll have an update on that.
We'll have an update. I don't know. We're living in.
It's so bad it don't make any sense for them to come here.
It's like yes, Chicago's telling us
bad.
To stay away.
That's how bad it's got. I was like, you want me to fly in and watch that live?
Claudio, are you into that?
What's up, Kenneth? Bro, great show. Listen, dude, you got 2 drops tonight. I think we got to keep. Right?
Yes.
But what in the razzle dazzle are we doing out here? It was great. That was great.
Thank you, Claudio.
And then the bunny one that you just did was pretty fucking funny. So always great, bro. You always
appreciate you, man.
I can hear the play Chicago, right? Wasn't that Chicago? The play.
Does that hat smell like mothballs? It's so old, Claude.
Dude, this is an original.
This guy looks like.
Look at this.
Wow.
That shit was screen printed downtown.
Listen,
Chicago
we're so bad. I
34th.
had to put this on just to think about.
I hope it alleviates the fuckery.
It does. Okay. It does. It makes me.
It has that shine. What was that material? It's like shiny, but it's soft. What is
the
that
trucker
shit?
hat. It's got the foam on the inside.
The foam.
Yeah,
it's like a foamy.
So it's actually
material.
not bad condition for being that old. So
Claudio's.
I like the vintage.
He
shit.
uses our show to sell his shit.
No, I ain't selling that. This is my collection, man.
On eBay right after the show.
We're going live, ladies and gentlemen.
I get DDP to sign it.
What's that shit on Howard Stern when they call in the
Tradio?
radio? What is it?
Tradio. Yeah.
Claudio's got his own Tradio.
Nice,
We should do it for you, Claudio. Yeah. Bring on some of your.
You gotta sign it, Phil. You're gonna sign it.
No,
and then we'll make the big bucks.
That's a classic hat right there.
The big bucks.
Anyway, we don't even have to do any segments tonight. I hope Claudio didn't cut it out.
I didn't. I anticipated. I did not want to watch that game again. I'm sorry. So I watched it once, and I was like, I ain't watching that fucking game again.
Well,
good.
Got the bunnies out.
Who thought that dude was going to be a better coach than our guy?
Pee-wee. Pee-wee's Big Adventure in Arizona is better than Eberlu's. Listen, Kenneth, do you have anyone you want to shout out tonight?
No, I'm going to shout out you guys. I'm going to shout you guys out. Hopefully I don't forget. I'm shouting you guys out Sunday.
Yes, on the under
I'm shouting
center.
you guys. Yes, I'm shouting you guys out on UC because this is. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. They've been so bad that part of me was like, man, I don't even know what we're gonna do tonight, right? This has been fun as heck. I mean, I always enjoy myself coming here, and it's not just you all; it's the community.
Yeah.
Agree or not, but this has been fun, and that's one of the things that's why it's so bad because we take this shit and make flowers out of it consistently. And they just keep giving us manure, and it's like, I can make some flowers, boss. Yeah. And it's just like, and like, but then it comes on us to come and talk, and like we all got to come back together because we're being mistreated. But this has been a joyous time. It's been fun, man. I appreciate you all, everybody. You know, Phil, Shane, Claudio, Sherry. It's Cars. I'm going to forget more. Ivan. Everybody, you know, guys, you guys know, how I feel about y'all. Keep up the great work because it's not easy. And you guys are always out there. You're doing it. People see you at training camp because you see you guys all over. And you're giving people a respite in this storm. And it's always storming. I didn't know we lived in Seattle, but it's always storming here, man. But still. And we just try to look for reasoning. Nobody's dissing anybody. Nobody's dissing Tyson Bagent. Nobody's dissing Justin Fields. It just gets to the point of common sense. I would love for Justin Fields to be the answer here. But it's to the point now where, and I used to always use relationship analogies. Listen, baby girl, we didn't have too many issues, and it's too early for us to sit here and be like, let's try to do this for another 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, it may just be better off for you to go and find someone that suits you at this point.
Creepers.
Better suits me at this point. And it's not an easy divorce. It's not a divorce that I care for, but it may be a healthier divorce. And like I said it again, I wanted more for Justin because we shouldn't have been able to ruin him.
It's not you. It's me. Yeah. That's what the Bears are saying.
Yes. And like we've never like even going back to my daddy telling me about Bobby Douglas, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But Bobby Douglas wasn't heralded like this and drafted in this high position. But I'm just talking about physical traits of my dad telling me Bobby Douglas can run and break fingers throwing the ball, like, watch out for Bobby Douglas. He got a cannon or whatever. But just still talking about the different years where the Bears have had chances to draft quarterbacks. They usually draft the guy that you like, you fall in love with him because the Bears drafted him. But he wasn't the guy on the board where you were like, yo,
arranged marriage.
Right, but this was a time where it was like, yo, it's Trevor Lawrence and it's this kid. And we were all like, regardless of anything else, we all kind of knew that, right? And you ended up because how other teams was, and regardless of how you feel, Trey Lance wasn't the guy, Zach Wilson wasn't the guy, and even though he got drafted later, and again, of course, whatever Bill Belichick
Mac Jones,
but Belichick messed him up more, but still he wasn't the guy. You know what I'm saying? Unless Kyle Shanahan was getting them. But the guys where you can still see it now. The second best quarterback in that draft was Justin Fields. Period. He was the second best quarterback in that draft, and he fell to us, and we broke him. I'm not absolving Justin and saying Justin was fine. That Justin didn't have to build and cut out some things. That's not what I'm saying. Pay attention to the context. But with what you were starting off from, he was one of the best pieces of clay that we've ever had in Chicago. And we Chicago'd it again. And not us as far as people here, but that organization. We actually did. We did it again this fast too. You know what I'm saying? Like this was supposed to be where we're in like year 5 and we're like, Justin is good, but I don't know if he's great. That's where we were supposed to get to. In all fairness, we were supposed to get to, man, Justin is like, man, he in the back end of the top 10. Maybe he's 11 or whatever. Or he's 7, but I don't know if he could be 3 and 4. That's what we were supposed to get to with Justin Fields. And go ahead, Shane.
I have to laugh because I have a bunch of Eagles fans in my family, and they're melting down because of the loss to the Jets. And talking to them, they're like, "Fucking hurts," and those picks. And I'm like, "Oh man, I feel so bad for you guys, right? You know what I mean? That's your woe is me moment.
This is like a show, and then you go like this. Meanwhile, in Chicago.
I'm just a fan. I'm not a football evaluator.
You're saying, Phil, it's not you, it's me, but that's what you have to essentially say to Justin or your ex or whoever. It's not you, it's me, but I got to go over here and see if it's her next.
Yeah, you can't get out of
and
the
I'm still broke. And Shane, I'm still broken and haven't fixed my own issues, but I'm about to take it over here to her.
Yeah, she's got some duct tape and some, some good stuff. I'm going to go check that out. See if she's not the answer too.
There's hope, guys. There's hope.
I hope there's hope, guys.
Let's hope there's hope. Right.
There's always hope in the NFL. With the Bears, we've been abused. And tonight, as Kenneth was eloquently saying, and then completely went into another rant, which we all do here on this show. The Bears are that relationship. Then you're with your boys and you get talking about it, and it's therapeutic and you feel better and you have some laughs because you're all on the same fucking bus riding down
Sports
the road,
media
right?
was melting down today because Layla Rahimi had her little rant, and I'm like, that ain't no rant.
That ain't no fucking rant.
They don't know rant.
That
You gotta
wasn't a
come
rant.
here.
That was like that woman that gets paid to look like she's going crazy at the games. Did you see this?
Oh
yeah,
like
the fake
Charger.
actress.
Yeah, I
that's
saw
what
that
that
where they were
was.
saying she's an actress or not or whatever. But don't diss Layla. Don't diss Layla. I'm not saying you
no,
weren't.
I'm
dissing.
no, I'm not dissing her at all.
Yeah, I know
No,
you
I'm
weren't. I know you're just saying
saying.
that we bring more heat here. It wasn't a you. That wasn't a you
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It's just how it can go. It wasn't a you thing or whatever.
No, I was
but
just saying, but this is what
this is
we've
where
been,
it really
we've been ranting for 15 years over this.
Claudio's been doing
I
this.
fucked your mom.
Exactly.
Best impression ever. Best impression
That's
ever.
a wild. You got again.
Listen,
I appreciate you all.
Yes.
I hope y'all families are good. We all go through things, and I don't want you guys to think that I still don't think about, that I hope everybody's family isn't well, regardless if we talk about it or not. They're always in my prayers. But again, it's always a great time over here. Thank you for including me over here. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man.
It's a privilege to come over here and rock with you guys. And I've never been on the show for almost 3 hours.
Well, we're 3 hours. You're 2.
It's been fun. It's been
2.5.
fun.
Yeah.
No, well, my computer's fast, 5 minutes fast. So we're at 240, 241.
So you've been
basically.
over 2.5 hours. There you go.
Yes. So,
the
but it's been fun. And to be honest with you guys, I don't know if I'm going to have this much fun the rest of the season. And I'm not even just saying that because I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest with it's the ineptness, just like what we just said about. If I see, it's not just the best. If I see another MF or short yardage run getting shotgun, I swear, dude, you better have the greatest quarterback and the greatest offensive line that I ever seen in my damn life. It's just one of those infuriating things about sports today, where I don't know what the hell the numbers are telling you, but they shouldn't be telling you that. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather you fail going forward in short yardage with a run up the gut or a run. Yeah, or a trick run off tackle, then you sit here telling me you about to screen some stuff up and hope you haven't even run consistently great screens, and you do terrible blocking when you guys are on those screens, but it's just one of those things where it's just like, I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. But that's part of being a Bears fan. And I thank everybody over here for spending. Yeah, Richard. Richard, don't worry. She told me she wasn't going to see me the rest of it. I was like, it's going to be maybe an hour or whatever. She's like, I'm not going to see you the rest of the night. But I can say it's been great though.
So. Again.
Exactly. Hey, it's been great. So it's been one of those things. So it is what it is.
Love to your family.
I'll let
them
know. I'll back it both back all three of y'all's.
If we do come to Chicago with Jim deciding to do another party part 2, this is a tough year under the umbrella of it, but maybe it'll happen. But we're still
might have to get pushed to a draft party this year.
Yeah, exactly, because
that might be a lot of fun.
That would be actually
I mean,
smart.
it just doesn't make. I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
Yeah,
I was looking forward to seeing y'all. And Shane, I haven't seen you face to face.
Yeah.
And Phil, we talked about it,
Yeah.
but in all fairness, it doesn't make sense right now.
You come into that stadium watching this piece of shit. It's like
it just doesn't. It does to travel all the way here.
Listen, if Tyson Bagent does start lighting it up,
then the story changes. That's why Shane and Phil.
I'll give you that. If he does, yes. Only caveat I give you is that if he starts lighting it up, let's just say it's 2 good weeks, I feel like it's going to be something Luke Getsy can do to get in the way of that.
Oh yeah,
that's just like that's the only and I shouldn't be able to say that.
Yeah.
I
2
shouldn't
good
be
weeks.
able to.
Getsy will be like, let's see what we can do to fuck this up. Yeah,
exactly. I need to put some obstacles in his way. Hold my beer. We need to make this more difficult for this young.
How do you feel about playing with Tyson? How do you feel about playing with 4 offensive linemen? You haven't tried that yet.
Did Mercedes Lewis take a snap?
Exactly. Like that's like, and it's now it sounds like we're being facetious, but it's facts of that's how it goes. So like,
oh my God.
So Claudio, you're right. If it does, but you can't even necessarily hypothetically saying if Justin was here, you couldn't say that they would have straight games of success enough after watching this year because of what they've presented to us over the last couple of seasons. Yes, Mike McGill. I live on the south side.
Lives on the south side.
Tyson, you got to hit Trenton Gill down that seam route. I mean, I drew it up perfectly for you.
We will see. And definitely, if, as Claudio eloquently put it, yes, Claudio put this. If Tyson Bagent turns this ship around, I'm sure Shane and Phil will come to town. It's like it writes itself. It's like a late night story for your kids.
And
yes,
you want to know the funny part?
What?
If he goes out and balls out,
yeah,
for these last 11 games,
yep.
Guess who they're still drafting at number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to piss all over your parade.
Well,
my God.
Yeah. If he balls out, we're not going to have the number 1 pick unless we get Carolina's number 1 pick. So.
Well, that's what he's saying. It's going to happen.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
All right, so real quick, let's do this. Let's do this real quick. Let's do this. Box to go. We start with you, Phil. Claudio will end with you.
Okay,
Phil. Regardless of whose pick it is, Tyson Bagent plays well. Are you still drafting the quarterback number 1?
Caleb Williams 1. Yes.
Yeah.
Shane? Yeah. I know you. Claudio?
Yeah. 1. If we got 1, of course. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, 2, Claudio. If you got 2, are you drafting
2? I mean, I don't know because it's like they were saying about
Claudio doesn't even know who the fuck Drake May is.
No, of course I do.
know.
I know, but I just don't know if he's going to be the
I understand. And
generational guy that everybody says Caleb Williams is going to be. So I don't know. But for 1, your question 1, yeah, you definitely have to. Yeah.
All right.
Unless he balls out and we just make the playoffs and
if it's ridiculous,
but I mean, he plays good. Yeah, of course you're still. Yeah, of course.
We always put up the super chats. Kerry Franklin, $10. I'm just a fan. Blackhawks and Bears this weekend, flying in from Knoxville.
Nice.
Going in to see the Bears, bro. God bless them.
These guys are doing it.
God bless them, man. I hope they win for you. Tyson Bagent. Listen, Tyson Bagent is an interesting story for this
better than
game.
watching Nathan Peterman. That's the way that I look
totally
at it.
Better than that.
At least I can get excited about watching Tyson Bagent. If it was Nathan Peterman, I'd probably go apple picking with my kids.
You have to watch it.
You just watch it on DVR.
Yeah.
His pressers
he would watch it, but
it's
not exciting. Like there's a little hope. Like I hope this kid does well. He's gonna have to overcome.
His presser was impressive.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I was impressed.
Kid is an impressive kid.
Sharp.
Man.
He's sharp. I love how he's like, I'm gonna fucking fight to the death with these guys. Like you can see, and he's like, I got nothing to lose. He's like, I shouldn't even be here. Pretty much, he's saying. So it's like
he was like,
who
this,
knows?
like Angelo.
Then let me do what I hired to do.
Exactly. 3 steps, fucking throw it, dude. Not 6 seconds. You don't got 6 seconds.
Claudio's getting fired
What
up.
the fuck?
Listen, we've said it all with Kenneth Davis. Way over his what was his guesstimate of what he was going to stay here. I honestly have to agree with you, Kenneth. This was so much fun and so therapeutic for me. I've been having a few bad weeks in a row, and tonight really like it washed off some anxiety and stress, and just hanging out with you and Shane and everybody on the show. Cherie, I know she left, but it was a great night. I hope every one of you guys enjoyed it. That were in the chat. It was like 484 people just strong the whole night. Now we're at 377, which is nothing to bat an eye at all. I'm just saying, 3 hours and 20 minutes into the show. I appreciate all you fans. Kenneth, thank you so much for your time. Shane, you want to shout out anybody quick? Claudio?
No, we're wrapping it up. I'm going to shout out my son went and got his 6-month PET scan today.
Yes.
Everything was clear. And
yeah, Riley.
Yep. Mom took him. So I was at work, and he called me, and I figured he'd be all excited. And he's like, "You'll never believe what they said to me." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "They said only 0.47% of kids my age are as tall as I am." He didn't give two shits about the PET scan. He was excited about being 5'9.5" at 12 years old. So
he's like,
damn, God damn.
Cancer. He's taller than me.
Yeah.
He's taller than you 2 years ago. What the hell are you talking about?
No, he wasn't, man. We were at the Basketball Hall of Fame. I was taller than him.
Shout out.
Barely. That was
shout out Riley.
Yeah.
Shout out Riley.
To a lot of shout out to somebody going through something like that at a young age and still kicking ass.
Oh yeah, he's a lot stronger than Daddy, that's for sure. I'm the biggest baby in the world. And talk about iron sharpens iron. Yeah, I don't know where he got it, but he's got it.
Claudio, quick shout out.
No, just shout out to you guys. Shout out to Kenneth, obviously, again, and everybody in the chat. Like always, making some good comments, some stupid ones, some funny ones, some smart ones. You know, we love you either way. And all the super chat people too. Shout out to all you guys.
All right, I'm just gonna wrap it up and shout out all you fans and you, Kenneth, especially jumping on the show, coming in here. A great guest just makes the show even greater. And you are a great guest, and your personality, even if we don't agree, it's so much fun. And you have such a great way and disposition with your approach to your knowledge, because it comes from your heart and it's felt. And I respect you as a friend and a father, and this show is all about that. So thank you so much for jumping on tonight and making TTNL even better than it possibly can be. And that's the truth. It's guests like you like that. So even I'm getting texts from all these different people, even Larison.
Hold on, here you go. Ready?
What in the razzle dazzle are you out here trying to do?
That's it.
Love it.
That'll be a drop. What I think don't we still have his original drop, isn't it? Isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Here it is.
What the hell is going on?
That's old to Randy Moss. Throw me the ball. They can't jump with me, dog.
Claudio, you'll have to get that video for next week, and that'll be our what in the razzle dazzle.
What are you doing out there?
Thanks for letting me be a part of you all's community.
Absolutely.
It's the last thing that I have to say. It's been a privilege, and it will continue to be a privilege. But thank you, and thank you for everybody for accepting me in, like or not like. And I'm not saying like as a person, I'm saying disagree is what I should say.
Yes.
But it's definitely been a privilege. You all, I hope everybody has a great evening, and everybody be safe. And even though if our team sucks, life is gonna be good tomorrow.
That's right.
It's more serious stuff than this, to be honest with you. Even though this is what we quote unquote live or die on, clearly it's been too bad for us to truly live and die on it.
That's right.
But again, the
Used to
community
go to escape life to watch the Bears. Now we can't escape the fucking Bears. It's like
right, we can't.
Bears Island.
Now we're like, I can't wait to go back to work tomorrow. That's where we're at.
At that point, man, I'm looking forward to work.
Yeah,
and it's just like it shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be, particularly this or early. But that's all that I have to say. I definitely appreciate everybody here, and I'm not just saying that because I'm here. I'm saying that because I've always had a great time. Agree or not disagree, it's always been welcoming, and that's fortunate.
Well, give your boys on the Under Center podcast our bet. We got to get Schrock on here. We have not ever had him.
I'll put the word in. Like I say, I'm definitely bringing you guys up. Probably Sunday's episode if I forget.
Awesome.
Maybe. No, you know what? I'm gonna do a Wednesday's episode since it's a TV episode.
Wow.
But I'm like, if you don't see it Sunday, but yeah, I'm gonna set my time. And it's not that you guys like. I'm not saying like I'm doing you a favor. You guys, money's coming in as we're talking on here, and you have a Patreon. I mean, the funds are flooded, and again, you deserve it. You guys deserve what you built. It's something that any podcast. I mean, I don't know any Bears podcast is doing this. All right, I don't know that. Like that's props to y'all. I don't know any Bears like props. Like I'm not a hater. All right, so like props to y'all, but definitely appreciate it. Everybody be safe and look forward to talking to you guys. I know I'm gonna talk to you in the draft, but I guess I'm probably gonna talk to y'all in about 2 or 3 months or whatever.
Yeah,
we come back, but I just
back later in the season.
We're gonna have the drinking show when they launch all these fuckers to the sun.
The last week leading up to the last game, we have him back on the show.
Yeah.
This is where we are, guys. And we bring Kenneth back on for therapy. I'm going to start calling
We'll have to take a shot every time they're in shotgun. A shot for shotgun.
Oh,
we'll be wasted by halftime.
I feel like this is like when you first start dating that girl and you can't hang up the phone on them. You just keep talking. That's where we are.
Oh yeah.
You know,
you go to bed.
You fall asleep. You
hang up.
I love you more. I love you more. Of course, I'll call you in the morning.
We'll talk to you tomorrow. Yeah. We'll go out Friday. We'll see a movie. I don't give a fuck what movie. We'll just go. Listen, sign up, become a patron, thetapeneverlies.com. My video series will be out tomorrow. This weekend, we'll hit Cars Keys. Is that this week, Thursday?
Tomorrow night, 8:30.
Tomorrow night, Cars Keys. There you go. And this weekend, I promise you, me and my father, X's with the O's, will be back looking at the defense. We've had a lot of family stuff hit us over the last week, so we had to kind of postpone some of this stuff. But we will be back. I am going to play a throwback ender to give you what TTNL has been about over the years. And thank you, Kenneth Day. I think Kenneth is in this video at some point in it. Love you all. It's 3 minutes. Enjoy it. We'll see you guys. Kenneth, you can bounce. We love you. We'll see you. Have a great night.
Thanks,
The
Kenneth.
tape never lies. Keeping it 100.
Tape never lies.
Hey, fuckers. This is Brian Erlacher, and I'm keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network.
The tape never lies.
TTL, the tape never lies. Tape never lies. Are you friends with Adam Rank?
I am.
Come on. Bill. Could you hear me?
You guys know the tape never lies.
Give me some name.
Come on, Shane.
Tape Never Lies Network, man.
Tape Never Lies Network. Maybe tune in.
I'm a born American boy. Born in this land.
I tell you what, man. Preston Abner, I tell you what, man.
You'd be better in the open field. That's all I said.
Brenton Gill's the fucking new punt god. I'm
fucking love it. I love it.
I grew a goatee because the only way people knew that I had actually gone through puberty is his hair either had to be here or here, and that was it.
These guys will tell you the best abilities is availability.
Best ability isn't availability. It's accountability. You fucking nerd fucks.
There you go. Yep, I like it.
Fuck yourself.
Blame it on the bubble wrap.
I love all.
Jim Larison is faster coming out of the end zone than I see Ebner.
It's pretty true. I mean, that's true.
The tape never lies.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's gonna rise up?
Jeepers creepers.
I'm good. I'm feeling good about this week, man. I'm excited.
Yeah! And when we go,
I love all.
That's gonna get old.
Good, man. That's good.
More podcasts we listen to during the season and during the off-season. Network, baby. Have you watched The Matrix yet, dude?
Never lies.
So man, I fucking fucked up. But
The tackle did the grave digger on my ass. I was like,
Oh man.
Claudio hired him to draw logos because he's unemployed. Ours was also supposed to be named after Dionne Warwick. That's so strange.
Give me some fucking names.
You know how cold it is here, guys? I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for you, you know.
I got it up.
Watching the Tape Never Lies Network. What her face can't.
She gotta work that ass for that.